never surrender.
Soon is one of the best tracers, I feel like, in this league.
It's going to be Big Goose using the Valkyrie here.
When we talk about the Valiant, it's about their aggressive engages.
It's been a tremendous defense here from the Los Angeles Gladiators.
And that was a good call from the LA Valiant.
It's like playing chicken with the enemy, and that time Gladiators are going to have the dinner for free.
Good start for LA.
The action continues live from LA. It's day 9 of the Overwatch League regular season. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Chris Puckett, and I've got the full desk with me right now. We got Sideshow and Crumbs in the building, as well as our insider, Zoe, who just had an excellent interview with Ryu Jaehong. Real quick, Zoe, thoughts on our last matchup?
Oh, I was so happy to see Altering step up his game in the last matchup. They got so much out of every ult he pulled out, and that just, again, made me very hopeful for games we're going to see from Shanghai Dragons in the future.
It's still stage 1. We're only halfway through it, and already we're seeing all of our teams improve. But real quick to catch everybody up, if you missed the first half of the show, we got some new rules in here. We switched up the map order. Hybrid, which was previously game number 4, is always game number 4. Escort, which was previously map 1, is now going to be seen at map number 4. That's going to help us avoid some of those ugly ties at the end of series. We should also catch you up on what you've missed so far today. It all started with the battle between San Francisco and London, the Spitfire, the first to climb to 5-0. And then we just witnessed the Shanghai Dragons take their second map of the regular season, looking much improved, but still a slightly bit inferior behind the Seoul Dynasty. It's now time to get in the match everybody in this building has been waiting for. You guys have been waiting for this squad. Get your shields up for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Remix leading the charge. The tanks followed up by the DPS, and this squad is currently sitting at 2-2 after last week's epic Game 5 comeback over the Philadelphia Fusion and a 4-0 loss at the hands of the New York XL.
Yeah, but they were able to complete the first ever reverse sweep that we've seen in the Overwatch League. And in that win against Philadelphia Fusion, where they came back from 2-0 down, I feel like it was Asher and Hydration stepping up way beyond what we expected from them. Asher had an unreal performance. I think facilitated by the fact that they were playing 2 maps of control, map 3 and map 5. It really allowed the hidden potential of Asher and Hydration, their 2 DPS players they were running, to go wild there.
But on this starting lineup, we're going to have Surefour going in, and he brings more hit scan to the table, which is going to be crucial for the first 2 points of Eichenwalde. You've got the McCree that can be a great answer to the Pharah, and then when you go into that second point, a Widowmaker or a Soldier can make a world of difference to finish that point.
Yeah, but you know, with Surefour in the lineup, I kind of expect him to go more passive and slow than when they have Hydration and Asher. But this passiveness, this slow playstyle is what cost them the first 2 maps going up against the Fusion. And let's face it, Valiant is definitely not known to be a team which sits back.
We're going to see what they can do in this first map because they're going up against some stiff opponents from just around the corner. Give it up for our second team. It's the LA Valiant. Unko, the Frenchman, leading the charge here for the Valiant. Those are some beautiful wings in the background, and we should remind everybody just how this Valiant squad got to this point today. So many great games, but last week they had some tough opponents. They lost to the NYXL as well as London. So the question I have for you, Sideshow, is this squad still deserving to be considered a top 4 team in the Overwatch League?
I think they definitely are. They look head and shoulders above all the teams that aren't undefeated at the moment. And they had an insanely close game that went to map 5 against London Spitfire, really pushed them to the limit. This is a really strong squad in terms of macro strategy. They're very clean with the fights they take. And for me, Soon is the standout player. He's performing so well.
Soon gets to stand out. The guy that we get to see, not in every single game for the Valiant, that does stand out for me is agilities. When we go to the control point, Oasis, we have the Roadhog, and he also brings that Genji to the table that can just shred through a passive McCree and that kind of style of a Widowmaker that we might get to see from Surefour today.
Yeah, and you know, the Valiant, they posted a video on their official YouTube channel where Silkthread and Soon both kind of recapped the games we saw from them in week 2. Silkthread said that they played too linear. Soon agreed and mentioned that they made the right hero switches, but they didn't make it fast enough, and this is something they want to change in this matchup.
Faster adjustments, that's what they need today. We'll see if they're able to get the job done. It's our 2 LA teams going toe-to-toe on the biggest stage in Overwatch. Sideshow, as the action kicks off, let's talk about how these squads compare, starting with the play styles.
Yeah, in terms of the playstyles, we touched on it a little bit. LA Valiant, they're a very clean team. They like to take aggressive dives, particularly when Agilities is in the lineup. Very aggressive Genji player. He'll like to get up in your face and use the Dragon Blades incredibly aggressively. But overall, he's well supported and they tend to work out pretty well. Over on Gladiators, they have a kind of similar style where they try and execute the dives, but they add in more kind of weird strategies to the mix. Hydration coming out on the Doomfist occasionally, so they're a team to look out for.
Crumbs, both of these squads are coming at 2 and 2. Do you rank one higher than the other? Where do they stand right now in your power ranking?
Exactly right. It's difficult to see which one is coming out on top because it's 2-2, but the reality is that the records have been telling the story for us. The LA Gladiators have lost 4-0 against the New York Excelsior and the Seoul Dynasty, when you have the Valiant that actually gave London a huge run for their money, taking them to a Game 5, and actually got to tie a game to the New York Excelsior. So I think that when you look into this matchup, it's the Valiant that comes out as a strong favorite.
Zoe, the fans love you. You've been catering to them here in the Overwatch League. It's part of the gig. But as a woman of the people, let's make it official. Who are you siding with when it comes down to the battle for LA? Are you going Gladiators?
Valiant, of course. I'm going Valiant. That was an easy one. But also, I, by the way, unofficially adopted Unco as well as soon during the Overwatch World Cup. So they're my boys, and I'm rooting for them.
Cheering on your adopted Frenchman. I understand it. Who else is out here cheering on the Gladiators in this battle? And who here is cheering on our team in green, the Valiant? Are you guys ready to get this started? This showdown begins as we send it backstage. Monty, Doa, take it away.
Thank you, Puckett. We are ready to get things going here. It is the Battle of Los Angeles, LA Gladiators versus LA Valiant. I am psyched, man.
I'm happy to be casting the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We can be the guerrilla radio for the Rage Against the Machine,
We can.
right?
That is absolutely
You remember your Rage Against the Machine lyrics, Stoa?
Vaguely, yeah.
So I'll start, you finish, okay? Lights out, guerrilla radio.
Turn that loud noise up. I think that's exactly how it went.
Nice cover.
It
nice
rhymed
cover.
very well. That's right. Hey, Prophet's got all the objectionable things covered today, so I'll let him have that. We are going to Eichenwalde, guys. Remember, we've swapped the map order up a bit, so Hybrid will be the first way to go this time around, and the Gladiators will be on the attack first.
And as we've seen from the Gladiators, they like to run Asher and Surefour on Eichenwalde, and it typically means, of course, that Asher will be playing the Tracer, but Surefour will take over in the Pharah role for Hydration, who normally plays Pharah on the rest of these maps. So I think we'll expect to see that. However, on the side of the Valiant, last time we saw them play, it was Silk Thread and not Agilities.
True.
So, of course, Silk Thread also having most of the Pharah playtime on the side of the Valiants, but we may see Agilities pick that up here on the defense. Tracer and Pharah, very strong compositions for point A on this map. We've got a lot of sight lines to work with, and it's about bullying the defense back into the buildings with the rockets and having the Tracer finish off some of those kills.
You are correct, and I don't think we're going to see Asher play that Symmetra, the only hero we haven't seen played yet in the Overwatch League, but oh well, maybe someday. Fate, what happened? It's okay, he'll be back, don't worry. He's not actually going to Icona anyway. Winston will be the order of the day, as usual.
Yeah, they are going to run Agilities on the Pharah, so we should see mirror compositions of Pharah and Tracer here if the Gladiators are going to go back to a strategy that we've seen in their wheelhouse from previous trips to Eichenwalde.
Yeah, quite possible. All right, enough of rest, Unco. It's time to go to work. Time to hold that left click down, sometimes right click. All right, let's go. Los Angeles Valiant defending against the LA Gladiators. We are started. The Battle of LA has commenced, and Big Goose come around the outside on that Lucio. And how quick are they going to go in on this one? Waiting to boost around. Once Safara has people properly distracted, that's exactly what they'll do. Coming in on the right side now. Can Surefour put on enough pressure here? Big Goose, a little bit of pressure on him himself, getting a little bit low, trying to get that Tracer away. But soon as all over him, Kareem does go down though. Bishu with an early kill in favor of the Gladiators. And they are storming onto this point. Oh, Asher falls though. Pharah v Pharah, one more shot! And a great combo from Surefour to take out Agilities.
As soon, Envy Fate and Unko still alive, though, and hanging around this point. Unko's going to make his way back to heal up the Winston. Kariv died early to a dive from the Gladiators, but they don't actually have any presence. They're waiting for their respawns as Big Goose and Remix come back in.
That's right. So, a bit of a delay for the Gladiators, but they are back in action again, getting closer to some of those ultimates. And here comes Surefour firing those rockets into the house, trying to dislodge the tanks. Ooh, takes a big shot himself, though, has to back off and get some healing. Takes another one, Agilities, not playing around here. And this Pharah v Pharah has already been pretty intense.
Yeah, Valiant pushing forward, too, towards the choke point, not playing as far back as we typically see, but they don't want to get shoved back into the confined space of those buildings, so they want to try and play a bit more aggressively with their positioning.
Not really. Oh, here we go. Surefour takes one shot. Trying to connect with Agilities, can't quite do it. Self-destruct comes in and finds Big Goose. That's a big one. Ooh, Kariv a little bit low on that Mercy. And that's going to be another kill on Abishu, actually. Valiant holding strong for now. They've got a couple ults to work with, but some pretty crucial ones coming up for both sides, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaz actually going to be on the Mercy now, so Big Goose will have the sound barrier coming into this next engagement, but resetting a support ultimate here.
That's right. Shaz on the Mercy. So, soon biding his time. Both these teams playing it so carefully here. Oh, Big Goose getting low. He has to drop the sound barrier to stay up. They gotta capitalize on this. Coming in now. Oh, and Agility's taken out Surefour. Both Pharah is grabbing a couple with their barrages, but when the smoke clears, Gladiators with a slight man advantage at the moment. Big Goose does get taken down though, but a return shot from Surefour. And this fight's still going. Valiant holding for the moment, though. Envy needs a bit of healing on the outside. He's going to get demech. That's a problem. And Big Goose brought back up by Shaz.
Unko's made it back now, and he does have that Valkyrie up. So he died early in that engagement before he could pop his ultimate, and now it's going to be the LA Gladiators cleaning things up on this point.
Well, it's going to be hard to get rid of Remix, and he's going to make his presence felt here. One tick on the control meter already as they try to take point A, and with those kills, that should be about it. Yeah, LA Gladiators should get this payload moving.
Valiant really committed there because the time was getting low, but maybe you want to save that Valkyrie to hold into point B because they didn't get much done. With Unko's death, Surefour was the one with the big kill. Takes out the enemy Pharah in the barrage, then barrages himself to make sure that they get the Mercy before the Mercy can use the ultimate. That point the fight's won, and there's not a way the Valiant can get back onto the point in time, and instead they end up sacrificing some important ultimates, and that's going to leave them with less to hold with now here in point B.
Yeah, they've got some time though already. Surefour trying to find some shots with that Widowmaker, but the payload has already stalled at the drawbridge just a bit. Now finally moving forward. LA Valiant did burn a lot of time off of the time bank already for the Gladiators.
It's really interesting to me that we're seeing Agilities play on this map when he's playing Silk Thread's hero pool.
I agree, yeah. I mean, there is some overlap with those guys as we see Surefour fight for his life, but generally it has been Silk Thread on Eichenwalde. And Big Goose with the sick double kill.
Yeah, so generally, of course, both these players will play the Genji, but Silk Thread, the Pharah and Soldier player, whereas Agilities goes more towards the Junkrat and the Roadhog, but confident in Agilities here today.
That's right, they're giving it a try anyway. Agilities on the Soldier now. And a bit of a replay here, seeing what Big Goose can do, of course, with this Lucio. Just finishing a few people off. Got a nice kill on the Soon, though.
Picking up a couple there in defense of the payload. We are in the middle of a fight here.
That's right.
On the map, though.
Soon manages to eliminate Bishu, and it looks like the Gladiators will take a bit of a breather here. As they move out of the way of that self-destruct, they're going to come back in now, though. And be down. No Diva for LA Valiant. That could be bad.
Yeah, they're going to come back with the Diva right now, though. That means the Valiant are going to have to back off as Envy comes to join them. They do have the Tac Visor and the Valkyrie up, though, so a stronghold here is what they need.
Big is trying to sneak this payload forward. He's been pretty successful about that. The fight has moved away from him for now, and it's still moving.
Yeah, they need to play the payload right now. They have a big ult advantage, and they can absolutely make this delay happen and try and run them out of time.
Well, now Valiant dives in, but they can't really push him back too much. Surefour does go down. Unko taking on the side of Valiant, though. A much bigger pick for the Gladiators. Oh, but Bishu finds Agilities with the self-destruct.
And some of Unko's deaths so far have been unfortunately timed before he can use the Valkyrie and actually help his team out. He's been flying with some of his DPS deep into the enemy backline, and he's just been caught and picked off by the Gladiators.
Now, this payload has moved forward fairly steadily here. Can they contest it right at the end? No, maybe not.
Oh,
they're gonna try. They get out. They get out just in time, actually. That payload did stop before point B. Soon falls almost immediately, though. Surefour, not a lot of pressure on him. Mercy Res comes in. Asher chasing down the Winston. Kareem's going to go and use that Transcendence as they try to keep that payload from getting there. Down to 20 seconds left for the LA Gladiators. Oh, and Fate takes out Surefour, who, of course, is res again by Shaz. Pulse Bomb not finding any victims. And Asher needs to back away. Not a lot of health. Finally gets some healing coming in from Big Goose. There's the sound barrier they need to make this work. The payload's so close. Nice kill on Soon. Can they get the payload there, though? Big Goose trying to keep people away. But now, Unko, ooh, Big Goose came back for the kill. He's been a hero on this Lucio, but they need a little bit more. And they may have gotten it with that kill onto Fate. Asher does fall, though, and it's getting so hard to dislodge Valiant. Self-destruct coming in. Envy gets back in the mech for just a moment, but he's not going to last.
And that's going to be the finish of this push, Doa.
I think it may be. Yeah, they're going to get it there.
Yeah, they get it there, and that means a minute and a half left for them to keep on pushing here. And again, Valiant are sort of falling apart at the last second on point A. Some crucial deaths around that Valkyrie. The Gladiators are focusing down the Mercy at the right time, and again here on point B.
Yeah.
So a lot of payload movement given up as a result of not having that Valkyrie on the battlefield when it's ready to be used.
Well, the Valiant just look a bit scattered in their defense, right? They're not really moving as a cohesive unit. The communication looks a little bit off right now, and they paid for it all the way through point B. The nice thing for them is that they did buy enough time to force it into OT. So as Remix dives in, he doesn't have a lot of support. He's going to get taken down immediately by Soon. A little bit of revenge coming in, a little bit of rezzing as well. And will it be enough? Shaz with the big Valkyrie, but here comes the Dragon Blade for Agilities. No more reses. Oh, but it doesn't matter because Agilities is the one who falls. Transcendence a bit late for LA, and they are relying on the respawns now.
Yeah, they definitely are, Doa. And Surefour is going to try and stop that with a Riptire, looking for targets. He's got one.
Unko walking right into it. That's right, one last sound barrier for Big Goose to try to push this one all the rest of the way through. 10 seconds left on attack here as the Gladiators get closer and closer.
Kareem loses a Kareem
with a sliver of health. He had to be down to like 10 there, and Valiant, they've got an opportunity to maybe, just maybe, hold it. Fate does die courtesy to a lot of damage from that Pulse Bomb. And have they done enough? I'm not sure. Oh, Envy with the whole hog now. That might be what it takes, but Big Goose standing strong. They'll do it! They'll do it!
Oh,
what
Agility.
a round to start with.
Agility's dashed forward at the off the cart right as Envy died. And
wow.
That blink means that the map gets finished. Gladiators punishing some of the positional errors of the Valiant, and that's been the story of the Gladiators so far as a team. They may not have the standout individual performances, but their teamwork has been solid since this Overwatch League began.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been impressive what the Gladiators have been able to put together over the last couple weeks, in that they have had DPS players that have certainly had star moments, but haven't had a consistently high showing like we've seen from a lot of other DPS players in the league. They've relied a lot on Bishu and on their supports, but man, Surefour, the other DPS, Asher, is certainly coming to play today.
Yeah.
Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, Surefour really showing up on this Pharah, and you know that says something because hydration on the Pharah has been quietly one of the best Pharah players in the Overwatch League. In fact,
it has been for before the Overwatch League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too.
But statistically, right now, hydration is #2 in final blows per 10 minutes and #1 in barrage kills per 10 minutes. So he has actually been doing great work. So for them to have the confidence to bring in Surefour here really says a lot about Surefour's own abilities on Pharah, and he's showing them off right now.
Yeah, I think it's the versatility that Surefour brings to, where he can go from that Pharah to that Widowmaker and back again with ease. Looks pretty good. Gladiators on the defense now. They had to take it to overtime, but they got the payload there. 3 points for them in their attack round. LA Valiant with a chance to respond. And this Los Angeles Valiant team has been a force to be reckoned with themselves, too. They've really been the ones to take the top teams in the league to the limit.
Indeed they have, and we'll see if they can push back here and complete the map against the Gladiators.
That's the plan. See if they can pull it off. Agility's on that far now. Sneaking around the bell tower. At least I assume there's a bell in that tower somewhere.
I'm sure there is. Oh, wow.
Sure.
Very close to the edge of the tower.
Very close to death, too. Got the heals just in time. Soon, not so lucky, though, as he takes a break early. Fate goes down. LA may need to back off here. I think they will. And when I say LA, I mean Valiant. I should be more specific in this match.
I think you should. It is slightly confusing.
I may need to, yeah. The Valiant have to take a bit of a break. Agility's just firing some rockets in, building that ult charge.
Also, though, building enemy support ult charges.
Very important to note, yeah.
I think a trade not necessarily worthwhile for them, especially when there's no backup or chance of finishing a pickoff, really, with a tracer on the ground.
True.
To deal the remainder of the damage.
Well, here we go. Valiant coming in again. Ooh, and it looks like they've got Remix pretty low. Gets the heals, though. He's okay. Meanwhile, Soon hoping to make this life count a bit more. Drops a pulse bomb in. Nothing out of that one, though. Fate does die, though. Here comes the res. Uncle goes ahead and uses that Valkyrie. This is the push they want to do. They've got Shaz backed into the room. They'll take advantage. That's a kill there. Can they get to him? Soon gets res by Uncle. That's their second one now. Envy does have that self-destruct. Uncle falls to B-Shoes.
And Gladiators.
Oh, Big Goose. Both Mercies taken out by D.Va ultimates.
And that D.Va ult on the Big Goose was the really critical factor because he still had a resurrection charge remaining. And that was after Unco had already gone down. So Valiant getting the necessary kill at the necessary time to keep on pushing this forward.
Yeah, and Remix trying to delay as long as he can, but I don't know quite how long he'll be able to do it.
They can get back, actually. With the depth there of Soon, this might cause a problem. We'll get the resurrection. It looks like we're going to head back into another 6 versus 6, but Big Goose will fall with that.
All right, well, okay. That's a crucial pick on the Big Goose a second time here, and that may be the ticket. Gladiators, we'll see how much they want to commit to this. They will go for it. Oh, man, that's a kill on the Surefour. Agility's trapping him in that doorway, and Valiant seem to be pulling ahead slowly but surely here on point A.
You know what's crazy, Joe, is if Big Goose had held back a little more and not gotten picked off and waited for his teammates, they wouldn't have had time to cap that point, and probably would not have gotten picked off. So that's actually a positional mistake by Big Goose. That's going to give the Valiant the opening they're looking for.
That's right. It's the little things that are going to make the difference in this map, of course. As Agilities tries to take a position over the ramparts here. Needs to be careful, though. There is that Soldier 76, courtesy of Surefour on the other side now. And yeah, you have to worry about the other stuff, too. Yeah.
Well, when you're standing right next to the platform, even a Tracer can kill you.
That's right.
On the Pharah. That's not going to be in an easy location to resurrect. They are going to give it a shot, though. Unco will nearly die in payment, but
they had a little bit of protection from Envy. Envy, not much. Ooh, Surefour, not much protection against Envy. And Envy just perpetually needs healing.
He's a nearly full
I know, right? This is like the D.Va in all my rank games. As a Transcendence, they managed to get one out of Shaz, and he's going to charge the cart with it. Try to get something out of that one. Absorbing a lot of Agility's ultimate there.
Surefour's on his way back to the high ground, though. Can he get some damage down? He's trying to pick off Envy from the flank right now.
Oh, now Envy needs healing. Okay, now you can say it. He's out of the mech. Gonna go ahead and try to use that self-destruct. Can he get back in? Yes, he can. Back in the mech once more. Soon trying to guard the point here. There's a stick. I think he got the D-mech there. Yes, he did. Bishu out of the D.Va suit, and Agility's right there to pick up that kill. Remix, the only one on the cart right now. He's got a little bit of Mercy healing coming in. Big Goose did use the Valkyrie, but not a lot of team left. Comes in for the res on the Winston, delaying long enough, especially with that Primal Rage for maybe the rest of the Gladiators to get back.
I mean, this is actually very good stall from the Gladiators.
Not bad.
Remix was resurrected, got the healing from Big Goose, and then popped the Primal Rage. Look at this, down to 2 minutes already, and they still have to cross this bridge.
Yeah, Unco falling. There goes Agilities, and this may already be a bit of a hold for Gladiators. Once more, goodbye Bishu.
And finally managing to push the Gladiators back and towards their own spawn. They will have to wait for it now.
Oh, Soldier has him in his sights.
Soon actually just going to die. He had no protection there in the front line.
No, and Envy has to back away too, so the payload left on its own. As the Valiant regroup one more time. 1:30 or so left on the clock here in their attack run.
Agility's going to be looking for a chance to use that Dragon Blade, and Shaz be hoping to get the Transcendence up before he can pull out that ability.
Couple ultimates up for use, but Gladiators very close to their support ults as well. Could be a problem for Valiant. Shaz. Oh, here comes the Dragon Blade. Agility's low health, trying to find some victims here. Gets Big Goose, looking for a bit more. Can't chase down Surefour though. He's gonna back up again. Ishu up on the high ground, DMAC one more time, and this is certainly going all Valiant's ways.
Everybody lined up in those corridors for
That
the
helped.
Genji resets off the Dragon Blade. Makes it an easy cleanup there. Unko did have to use the bounce, so Gladiators still have an opportunity to make sure their opponents do not reach that third point. They're going to try now with a Transcendence. They're really committing to this.
No kidding, man. Using everything they've got, but everybody on the payload. Surefour on the Reaper, but he gets taken out. Rezzed again immediately, though. Kareev down, and I think the Valiant may be in a little bit of trouble here. Depends on what they can do with this Primal Rage from Fate. And the answer is not too much. Maybe they can push Gladiators back now. Hard to say. Agility's with another Dragon Blade. Chases down Surefour, looking for more. Whoa, gotta be careful. Gotta go fast. There's a Pulse Bomb. Can he get away? He can. Asher not so lucky, though. Soon gets a kill on that side, and somebody needs to get back to this payload.
That's actually a great
seconds,
pull
that could
by
be
the
it.
Gladiators. Thanks to Surefour switching to the Reaper. It's clearing everybody out of the cart right now, and maybe the Gladiators have done it.
NVD Mac, they need to get somebody else there. Agility's coming in on the Genji, but he's alone. Now here comes Fate, gets there just in time to keep OT going. But again, on his own, the OT bar ticking away, and the Gladiators have won map one. Eichenwalde is theirs.
What a great hero switch from Surefour at the end of that. So the Gladiators knew they had that support ult advantage, and as long as they could stick to the payload, that was going to be enough to push out the rest of that time. It's risky when you commit towards the end of a point like that, but if you have the Reaper there and you know they're going to have to fight you close range, and you know you've got all this healing coming in, why not go for a great strategic change from the Gladiators?
And a shocker in our first map here, the Gladiators shields up as they came into the arena. And the shields certainly doing the trick on Eichenwalde. We'll be back for map at number 2 right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel and Omen by HP. starts with the battle for LA. The Valiant taking on the Gladiators. This is a rivalry we are looking forward to developing.
We're looking to dominate them and show that we are one of the best Western teams, if not the best.
They've already a team for a while, and I don't think they will be improving as fast as us.
The Gladiators said, we want to be the Lakers, not the Clippers.
Preseason, it was 3-1.
The Los Angeles Valiant claim the City of Angels.
We're looking to 4-0 this time.
Preseason, they seem to be the better LA team.
The kills continue to come in for Los Angeles Gladiators.
You know, I think it could be anyone's game.
And the Gladiators stand tall on home turf.
For Overwatch League to be hosted in LA for the first season, it's great for us because we have a lot more fans cheering us on during the games.
The home field advantage really kind of shows with all the cheering in the crowd, and I know some of my teammates and myself definitely get amped up.
Shields up.
It is the hometown heroes, the Los Angeles Valiant.
Have a great 2-0 week. Now they go up against two of the harder teams in the league.
We faced off against the better teams now. We know we can go tiptoe with them or really close games with them.
They go down 0-2 at the beginning of this series and then win the following 3 maps.
Let's up, of guys.
With a lot more practice on our shoulders, I think we'll be able to put a better match against them.
There's a big line in the sand that divides Los Angeles right now.
May the best team win.
Good luck. You'll probably need it.
Is sure to be an absolute rip snorter.
Oh, the battle for Los Angeles already off to a great start for the Gladiators. As you can see, unfortunately, that's probably the only Symmetra we're going to see in this match, but hey.
It's not even a Gladiator skin Symmetra either.
It's purple enough,
It's
sort
purple
of.
enough.
I don't know. It's close enough. What do you
Still
want?
looking good.
You just can't please Monte Cristo,
can't.
guys. You just, no matter how hard you
Perpetual
try.
disappointment is my mode of being.
Story of my life, right? Oh well. We got a sub, guys. Hydration coming in, subbing in for Asher here on map number 2. We are going to Horizon Lunar Colony, and we will see if the Gladiators can make it a 2-0 lead or the Valiant can tie things up here on our assault map.
Should be interesting to see how this one plays out. We've seen some dive compositions from the Gladiators when they play here on Horizon, and with bringing Hydration back in with Surefour, might mean Surefour flexes over to that Tracer. He has been the sort of centerpiece of the DPS of the Gladiators lineup these days with Hydration. And of course, Asher filling in as necessary. So, I mean, interesting that he plays the Pharah when Hydration is not in, and then the Tracer when Asher isn't in.
Sure. Well, what do you make of him being put in for this map specifically?
I think, well, we'll wait and see. The last time they were playing a lot of Soldier Tracer on this map, so I think we might see that. Surefour also was playing the Sombra on defense to get the health packs hacked and prevent any kind of health pack attack from a Sombra on A.
You gotta hack the health pack to prevent the health pack attack.
It's really important, though. You can't underestimate that. Bring it back.
Right. Don't give him any slack.
I won't, and I don't think the Valiant will either.
That's right. Valiant down, but certainly not out. This has been a very, very strong looking team, and as we have this pause here, we'll think more about that. The Valiant, wow, in their last match, taking it to the very, very end against London Spitfire, and if they can do that against that team, you'd think these guys are in for some pretty great stuff down the road.
Yeah, I agree, and their teamwork has been the core bonus or plus that we've seen from this Gladiators roster, whereas opposed to the Valiant, who've been aggressive and they still make some mistakes at times. It looks like their judgment on when to use their ultimates was a bit off in that last map in particular. You look at scenarios where you sit there and think maybe that could have been a full hold on A, maybe that could have been a hold sooner on point B had they managed their ultimates a little bit better. It's a tough call. I'd have to go back and take a look at that again, but it just didn't seem like they were really at their best. And the other weird thing about the Valiant is how much time they spend on overtime pushes. And by that I mean when the wick is burning down, they make a lot of payload progress. It seems like sometimes they're reluctant to go all in on an objective, and once the time forces them to do that, they are more successful than they are without that impetus there. So
hey, maybe they're just like, they're a team that operates well under pressure, Reminds me of me in college. I couldn't get anything done until it was into overtime, basically. Night before.
How'd that work out for you?
Hey, look at me now. I'm doing great.
You didn't actually answer the question, you'll notice.
I think everything turned out fine. Maybe not in all classes, but, all my esports courses went great. That was all extracurricular, though, at the time.
Okay. Yeah, your extracurricular esports courses. So the cause,
Stay in school,
the
kids.
cause of the overtime push turned out well, but we don't have any evidence that the overtime push itself
You don't want to end up like old Doa here.
I couldn't agree more.
Study hard, kids. That's right. Well, here we go. Back into the game. LA Gladiators on the attack one more time. LA Valiant on the defense as we get things started, and we may have the Slambulance coming in for the Gladiators. Will it be that 4-tank Lucio Moira push, or will it be something a bit different? Hard to say now. A lot of hero switching going on, but it's something that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it is. And something we've also seen in the past is this pick composition from the Valiant on defense of point A. So this may be a bit tough for them, though. It depends on how much damage they can get done with Agility's Junkrat onto the tanks if we are going to see that. And we are going to see that.
Oh boy.
A bit of a new look here for the Gladiators.
That's right. Going to be coming fast and furious with the quad tank. Big Goose speeding everyone along. Shaz with that big AoE healing on the Moira, and they're going to run right past the Valiant. That's the plan.
All right, they're going to wait for the speed boost here and then hit it.
Here we go.
Corner. Actually, they're going directly underneath.
Right side.
Yeah, we don't normally see them right side, but they are going to cut off the approach by Valiant. Valiant are rotating all the way around the opposite side of the point. They're running around the outside, actually.
Oh, that was tricky, man. They made the Valiant take the long way around. There's a hook. Who'd they bring in? It's Envy. That's a lot of hit points to get through, but he's going to back away, and they're going to take down Fate instead. 2 ticks already. Have the Gladiators just done it right now? They got to come in. They got to make something happen here. Valiant in a lot of trouble already. You're on point A. Fate brought back to the battle, and Chaz already with that coalescence. No surprise there. It builds fast, and it may be enough right off the bat as Unko falls. Gladiators will steamroll point A. The Slambulance has arrived.
It has, Dola, and there's so much I want to say about that, but we're getting right back into the action.
Analyze it later, man. That was a sick push. We're into point B already here. Valiant fighting for their life. Another hook onto Fate, and the Gladiators' momentum has not been broken yet.
Well, they're actually going to commit the Earth Shatter there. They're going to get some more kills. Remember, there is no mercy on the side of the Gladiators, so that's our final. Unko will bring back the 2 kills that have already been gotten, and that's going to be the Valiant eventually cleaning this up.
All right. Ooh, late coalescence for Shaz. Don't know about that. They actually used the sound barrier, too. Okay, they're going in. No hydration here.
Yeah, this is not going to be a successful push. They're dumping all their ults, and they're going to switch off.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so to go back to what we just saw, we rarely see the Slambulance, as you call it, go down the right-hand side of the point.
Right.
Usually you want to wrap around. So in that case, they just beeline directly to the point. And crucially, at the end of that, Agility's shooting the tanks got his Riptire up very quickly, but he detonated it into Sherfor when Sherfor had the Zarya shield, the bubble on him, in the back line, so there wasn't any value there. And once the pick didn't occur, on the side of the Valiants, they were forced more or less to give up that point and give up that push.
Sure enough, well, Sherfor on the high ground now, as the Gladiators try to find a way to push into point B here. They're at a bit of an ult disadvantage, so they may take it easy for a little bit. Agilities goes ahead and uses the Dragon Blade. They're going to take this fight quickly. Sherfor falls here. And if you're Gladiators, you're not too worried about this. You took point A so fast that you can take your time here. This is efficient ult usage by Valiant and Agilities.
Great.
With a pretty big individual play there.
That's actually very efficient ult usage by Valiant. So because if you fail the Slambulance on point B, if you do not snowball with all that crowd control, and you get somebody picked off and you don't have the mercy, the issue is you have to change basically your entire composition. So Valiant knows that they can just use the 1 Dragon Blade. There aren't going to be any defensive ultimates, no support ults on the side of the Gladiators. But you're going to get great value, and you're going to prevent them from poking you, healing themselves up through your poke, and getting a lot of charge. Meanwhile, you're building up your own support ults. So Gladiators can take that first point very quickly, but the problem is if you don't snowball immediately, it does stall out, right? You do have to massively reset your composition, and it's going to take longer, much longer, in fact, probably to take point B.
Yeah. Well, they do have time. Still about 4 minutes, 25 seconds left for the Gladiators. Valiant holding strong, and again, watch that ultimate usage. They want to use as little as possible. Good pick on Shaz and Big Goose soon. Going wild, 2 support kills right off the bat here, and this push is dead before it started.
Yeah, Valiant have stabilized now.
Very well.
Running the quad tank at first was an answer to what we had seen, that pick composition that the Valiant had played on defense here on Horizon before. So that was a good strat by the Gladiators to deal with. You're not going to pick off one of those tanks most likely, so you have to hope for a support. When you don't get that, you can be rolled very quickly. However, now that the Valiants are over the initial shock,
oh boy,
they've had a chance to go.
Oh no! Oh! Baited! It was a trap all along! He knew it. Surefour drops the tactical visor, though. They do kill Unko, so the Gladiators with an opportunity here, maybe. Agilities may pull out that Dragon Blade. The Transcendence keeping him up for the moment here. Unko uses that Valkyrie, too. But Gladiators still picking up a few more kills. Can they get more once the trance is done? Here comes the Blade. That's a problem for the supports on the Gladiator side. And Valiant will hold in the apocalypse.
And that was a little too optimistic for soon getting into your back line. You're forced to use both of your support ultimates, and you can't really put any pressure onto the point because the Valiant were already harassing players far off the point towards the spawn of the Valiant, or the Gladiators rather, so not going to have much of an opportunity to get the control percentage up, and instead everybody just empties out their ultimates, and we're going to reset with about 2.5 minutes remaining.
And here we go, another Riptire coming in for hydration. What can he find with this one? Gotta be careful. Ooh, we got agilities. Okay, so there's one. Man advantage as the Gladiators dive in. They're gonna need more though than just that. Vishu D-Mech, that's a great start for Valiant on the defense. Surefour coming in, trying to fight that Tracer v Tracer. Little help from Remix, and he finds the kill onto Soon.
Remix is just corpse guarding right now so that Unko can never resurrect these DPS, but as a result, he's not actually helping to get any more of these pickoffs.
Well, Surefour is having a pretty huge presence on the point right now. Hard for anybody to approach. And Valiant struggling a little bit to defend this one. One tick taken by Gladiators already. Less than 2 minutes remaining, but Valiant needs to start holding here, and they will. Shaz taken out, as is Remix. Mercies.
Agility still has a chance to use the Dragon Blade. He pulls it out, but explodes.
That's right. And nobody likes to explode. At least that's what I've heard.
Except for Diva.
That's right. Well, she does. It's not. I don't know if the South Korean government likes it, though. They go through.
They go through so many mechs.
What's the budget for Diva's mech, by the way? That's got to be really draining the South Korean economy in the future here. He goes through a lot.
By the way, who designs a mech where the most powerful thing it can do is self-destruct?
I don't know, man. Everything's so disposable. Soon taken out early. Transcendence used on both sides. Envy waiting for an opportunity. Oh, Unko got taken by Hydration's Riptire. That's a big start here. Envy gonna go ahead and use his self-destruct too. Can he catch the Mercy? No, he catches Bishu instead. Grieve does go down though. Support's falling, but Valiant has that big respawn advantage right now.
Bishu's gonna get back in his mech though after he's resurrected, but that doesn't mean much, as of course the spawns are already coming in. Grieve over on the Widowmaker now.
Yeah, and we're less than a minute now for Gladiators attack. Oh, but they finally find the kills to get the control percent building. That is 2. Can they get it all the way? Valiant needs to get on the point in a hurry. Here comes Agilities from the back. They're gonna try to defend. Unko falls too, and the Gladiators will finish with 37 seconds remaining.
It wasn't the close, quick snowball that they would have liked after having decisively won on point A, but they do complete it with some time left in the bank, and that will put the onus now on the Valiant to come back and cap both points.
Yeah, it's something, you know?
Oh, it's definitely, they'll be feeling just fine about that.
Sure.
It's really hard. It is feast or famine if you're going to run the quad tank on A. They know that. They eventually adapted to it, and finally, when all supports were down, got the crucial kills on the point to go ahead and take it over and force those trickle respawns to come through.
Yeah. And now we're gonna flip it up. Valiant will be attacking Gladiators on the defense. And as we can see from our screen, Monty, Unko already hovering over that Sombra, maybe one of those trickier health pack hack attacks.
It will be,
we see sometimes.
Yeah, the thing is, Surefour also potentially going to be going for this Sombra on the defense. And
right.
That's a look that we've seen from the Gladiators previously, and Unko will have to switch off that Sombra immediately because he's not going to get the mega health back or the mini health back close to the point.
Yeah, you're going to get there, see that it's already been hacked, and have to make a switch.
Yeah,
have to go back.
You will be sad.
That's right.
Well, otherwise, though, hydration on the Junkrat to control the points from any back cappers, and then some high mobility tanks in the Winston and Diva to respond to either flank. They're not going to have a lot of damage, though, if hydration goes down with one of their DPSs on the Sombra.
Well, that is the risk with running this defensive Sombra. Turned into Elmer Fudd for a second there. Running the Sombra.
Always a danger when you...
Nobody knows who Elmer Fudd is anymore. It's true.
Technically, that was before our time.
That's true. It's still on TV at least when we were but we lads. Here comes Valiant now on the attack, and Unko, like you mentioned, about to be a bit disappointed as the health packs have already been hacked.
So you'll notice, though, oh, actually...
will he go for it? He's like, oh, all right. Time to go back.
Yes, it is time to go back.
Yeah.
Translocator gets him into position. Going to use that again just to turn back to the spawn.
So that's already a nice little delay for Gladiators.
Sure.
You know, making that call, forcing the first attack from Valiant to wait this long, pretty decent.
Yeah, absolutely, and also going to build up some of your EMPs. Surefour already at 30% thanks to the poking that's been going on in the interim. Same for agilities, however.
Yep. Agility's down to 16 HP. Ooh, close call, but he gets the heals.
Get the heals, but how are they poking forward? They're trying to take the high ground directly in front of the point, but everybody backed off on the side of the Gladiators towards the mini health pack. So Fate's gonna jump in.
Oh, Agility's coming through. Fate soon go down. Valiant's attack not going too well as Agilities is catapulted across the map, and that's going to be a pretty smooth hold for Gladiators so far.
You really have to kill somebody immediately if you're going to make that dive. They have that fast respawning mini health pack. Your supports are very far away from you at that angle and not going to have line of sight if you dive behind that pillar towards the mini. So have to be cautious. Now Gladiator's going to push forward just a little bit more. Surefour is taking this time to go back and actually check outside. Soon as it's outside in outer space right now.
Hey, you know, it's fun to hang out in space sometimes. Surefour with that EMP built up here. Agility's on the far end now. So Valiant changing their strategy one more time here. We're running out of time, though, down to just about 2 minutes remaining. Surefour coming in. Remember, that EMP will be crucial in defending it.
Gonna wrap around right here. Wait till they commit to the point. There you go.
He finds it. Big EMP comes in from Surefour, but they need to make something out of it. They will. Fate goes down right away. There's a hack onto Envy. Rez comes in. Fate back up again. There's a tire. Manages to demech Envy, and it looks like that'll be enough. Gladiators will hold on to point A for a bit longer.
We'll see though, they're still falling. Big Goose gonna get a couple of reses onto Hydration and Shaz.
Yeah.
Fight continuing right now. Fate wants to get into these back lines, and Unko's gonna try and hold on with the Transcendence.
Self-destruct has Valiant zoned out quite a bit. Bishu back in the mech again. And Valiant.
Oh, Kareem was hacked at the end. Kareem was hacked and so could not escape.
Yeah, that's right. One tick for Valiant so far. Remix very low. Ooh, they got to keep him up. He gets the heals. They barely keep him alive. Valiant with some ults now to come back with.
Gladiators playing onto this point very well so far, and Valiant are going to be in big trouble. Take a look at this replay with Hydration. Just no pressure. And Kareem was hacked, so he couldn't actually get out of there with any efficiency.
Yep. Oh, hey, and the random grenade takes out Unko too. That always feels good.
All right, Agility's now on the Farah, just trying to get some presence on the point, knock people off of it, but Surefour is going to find Unko in the back line with the help of Remix.
Yeah, that's right. Winston coming from above on the supports of Valiant as well. Hydration, one more time on that Junkrat, trying to finish off the Tracers. He's got the Riptire, and he can whip it out at any time. Surefour taken down, though.
It's not the big pick. They need to kill Hydration to eliminate the damage here as those grenades still working into the point soon.
Good zoning.
Yeah, escaping the mines and trying to get him away right now. Nobody really to deal with the Farah.
Yep. That's right. Kills coming in for Gladiators. Remix down again. Well, brought back up again, actually. Here comes the Riptire. Can he get Mercy? No, he gets Envy instead, who's brought right back up by Mercy. Bishu on the point. Self-destruct. Just to delay a little bit more. Gonna fly into the high ground. Oh, that was tricky, man. Tried to make it slide down, explode right at the last moment, but Valiant wasn't caught by that. They will be caught by the other members of Gladiators, and that may be about it. Overtime ticking away once again, and Gladiators will make it a 2-0 lead in this series.
Not only that, though, but a dominant point A hold.
Yeah, really.
Playing very well around the Sombra and punishing a lot of those mistakes. They are looking good tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so happy that this is the strongest we've seen the Gladiators look all season long. We knew they needed to step it up to be competitive with Valiant, and they're doing more than being competitive. They are, I would say, pretty much dominating.
Yeah, this is a team that has struggled against top rosters, we have to say. They haven't picked up a map win in any of their match losses, but they're coming out 2-0 against the Valiant, and something I don't think many of us expected.
Pretty exciting start, but the battle for Los Angeles is far from over, guys. At least 2 more maps coming up, so don't go anywhere. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel and Omen by HP. So far, the battle for LA is a bit one-sided. It's our purple squad with the shields up. How you guys doing out there? You enjoying the show? It's been a great one so far. Gladiators are now on match point, but it's been very close games. And we're going to take us back to our first map. It's Eichenwalde, and on this map, we were a little bit surprised to see Agilities in the lineup for the Valiant. A lot of FARs came into play. And as we open things up here, I want Crumbs to walk us through some general strategy. If you're a new player looking to improve on this hero, here's a mistake you want to look out for.
Yeah, so in the FAR versus FAR matchup, you'll end up building your ultimate very quickly, but it's the guy that stays calm like a bomb that will be prevailing in the end. And Agilities blows his ultimate first, and that's very dangerous because you put yourself as an easy target for the other Pharah to take you down. Just like that happened. You take down the other Pharah, you pop your ultimate onto the Mercy, and now you've won the fight. So in that matchup, it's kind of like Genji versus Zen's Transcendence. You're both trying to hold the ultimate. Whoever uses it first tends to not be happy with the outcome.
And you could pop it early as long as you have some help, but as you saw in that clip, pretty easy kills for Sure4 to clean up. Let's go through some of the general highlights here because both teams were playing really well. Great plays back and forth. We'll start off with Sure4, a little closer look of exactly how he used his barrage. This opened things up for the Gladiators, but as the game played outside show, what were you looking out for from both squads?
Well, for the Los Angeles Valiant, I had a lot of question marks coming into this one. For example, why were Kariv and Unko kind of switching their roles around and Kariv playing the Zen? Why did he have Agilities in when he seemed to be playing over the top of Silk Thread's hero pool, playing some of that Soldier 76, playing the Pharah? So there were question marks for me about the Valiant, but Gladiators just played their game and came out and looked phenomenal.
Yeah, some of the question marks for the Gladiators were Sure4. What is his champion pool going to look like? Well, you know he has Pharah for the first point. Widowmaker came out in the second one. But when it came down to the defense of Eichenwalde, his Reaper switch, I think, was so pivotal to actually holding that point. In that choke, that final point, you typically see that the attacking team has to go for a Widowmaker themselves. They chose not to. They chose to fight up front, and the Reaper paid dividends.
We are going to look at that defensive hold from the Gladiators in just a moment, but first we have to show you how they finished off their attack. They were able to get all 3 points in Sideshow. It was looking pretty dire. LA was looking like they're going to be able to lock down the second and then eventually the third and final point. What were the Gladiators able to do to overpower?
Yeah, so Valiant are running this Roadhog Orisa defense on the third stage of Eichenwalde. And we've got a replay here that shows a Mercy play coming out from Shaz. And this is the deep dive. I want you to watch how deep Remix goes to save all of this space. Look at him, he's just diving way in. He's obviously going to die, but it doesn't matter because Shaz has got the Valkyrie. He's going to come in, and with these double reses, you know, sometimes you want to use your Resurrects and the Valkyries to give yourself an advantage in the fight, to player advantage. You want to res it up so that you're 5v4. Here, this is them using their Valkyrie to get a positional advantage. You've got the guys diving in really deep so that the Orisa and the Roadhog have to turn around. And then you're resing them back up, so it's an even 6v6 fight. And you've used your Valkyrie just to buy a huge amount of space and distraction. So I thought that was really intelligent play coming out at the end because it ruined Valiant's strategy completely.
It's important to note as well that the clock was already ticking, right? They barely got that point at the end. So even if that play fails, it's the right call because you don't know if you're going to get the point all the way, but you just need to push that as much as possible. Create that space with all your ultimates. And you might not get 3 points, but you get that payload darn close, and that's going to make a difference if the Valiant is able to actually get close to 3 themselves.
Normally we see Shaz on Zenyatta. It seemed his Mercy play worked out pretty well there for the Gladiators. In our next clip, this is your insights brought to you, powered by Intel. Sideshow, go ahead and break it down. This is the Gladiators, not on the attack, but defense this time.
That's absolutely right. And so what I want to highlight for you, first of all, is that Big Goose has his Valkyrie, whereas Unko does not. Unko had something of a questionable pop of the Valkyrie earlier on in the fight beforehand. And so Los Angeles Gladiators, as Monty was saying, have this double support ultimate advantage, although Kariv has his own. So I want you to watch what happens here. Soon is trying to get a pulse bomb onto Shaz as he comes out the door. Kind of sticks it on the floor, but Shaz is out here. He's able to block with the Transcendence because he's invincible, even though Envy's put his self-destruct on the cart. And as everybody comes out here, they're using this Reaper. Now, the next thing to note that I'm just going to pause the play for you and watch what happens here. Asher uses this distraction to come out and get this pick onto Kariv. They know that Kariv has the Transcendence. That's the only thing really that can save Valiant in this fight. So while all this scrappy chaos is going around the card with Primal Rages being popped off by Fate, you see Asher, he darts towards the backline and instantly picks Kariv. It only takes him 2 clips. Now I'm going to pause this again, and you'll see that Unko comes out here and goes all the way to the backline and has to sit all the way super passive here because he doesn't have the Valkyrie up, so he doesn't get these instant resurrects. And he needs Kariv to come back up in the fight because, as you see, he has that Transcendence. So this setup means that Unko has to fly really far back. Now, what else does that mean? It means that Los Angeles Valiant can't retreat from the point because they have to keep everybody here in this big, wide circle. Because if
if for a moment the Gladiators are able to push up at all, they're going to be able to deny this Resurrect coming through, and Los Angeles Valiant have no chance in the fight. So Unko needs his tanks to be playing really far forwards, and he has to play really far back. But unfortunately, this means that even though he gets the res on Kariv, too much damage has already been done. Envy gets demegged, Agilities gets no value with this Dragon Blade that's about to come through, and so even though there's a Transcendence happening on the fight, the Gladiators have played it so well with this Reaper pick and getting that crucial pick onto Kariv that there's nothing that they can do to save that fight.
Incredible stuff there. That is your insights powered by Intel. Give it up for Sideshow. Excellent breakdown. Everyone gives credit to the Reaper. That couldn't have happened without Asher in the mix as well. Gladiators get the first map. Eichenwalde now in the books. Let's take it to our second map. As we saw Horizon Lunar Colony, it was an incredible fast break coming from the quad tanks of the Gladiators on the attack.
This is just a nearly immaculate quad tank from the Gladiators. They recognized that the Valiant was set up on the right. They went right under and get on the point immediately. And all it takes is just time here. They were very patient with their abilities. And most of all, you have Shaz being very close to his tank line. That's incredibly valuable for getting that maximum amount of heal. You get your ultimate in about 40 seconds this time around. Great timing. And then, unfortunately, they weren't able to snowball into the second point, but they got it in the end.
And Valiant weren't able even to capture the first point. So let's talk a little bit about the differences we saw on the attack. The first thing we noticed was the Sombra coming into play. Sure for the Gladiators, playing Sombra on defense, made sure that the Valiant on their attack couldn't use the Sombra at all. Can you explain that real quick for any of the fans who don't know how this plays out?
Yeah, so right now we have the two most common strategies that are the quad tank or you have the Sombra strategy, but we haven't seen a lot of the defensive strategies be developed, and one of them is starting to surface today, and that is having Sombra on your defense, because if you have Sombra already, you've already hacked the point, so Sombra can't get a whole lot of value on the offensive team, so she has to switch. So by having the Sombra already, you're basically dealing with one of the compositions already, and if there is a quad tank, your hack can actually be very valuable, right? You hack that Reinhardt, he's basically useless on Orisa, Diva. All these tank heroes don't do a whole lot if they're in that situation. And Surfer actually ended up hacking 13 players.
13 players on 1 point.
On 1 point.
And he was getting an average of 4 players every time he used the EMP. Now, this is massive. We've seen, particularly when we were watching the Dallas match and they tried something similar, Timmy was getting almost no value out of those EMPs. They're difficult to hit on Horizon as well, because you've got doorways in the way, you've got players flying all over the place. So I think this was a huge value that Surfor's got out. So far, he's standing out as well, has had fantastic performances.
All right, well, I just looked behind us. It looks like the players are sitting back down. That means game number 3 is just a few moments away. Before the break here, guys, the map is not Oasis. We're going to Ilios for our third map in the control. Let's talk about how the Valiant gets back in this series. What do you need to see in map 3?
I need to see Soon going massive on the Widowmaker, to be honest, because this guy's had phenomenal performances before, and if he's backed up by... They like to run Silk Thread on the Tracer sometimes as well, so I want to see a bit more diversity. I want to see Silk Thread back in the lineup as well, to give them a bit more stability and with their ultimate.
I want to see Agilities and not Silk Thread here. This guy has proven time and time again that the Hog is more valuable on the Oasis than the Widowmaker, and I think that he can certainly put up the performances. The Valiant is not out for the count here. They almost reverse swept the London Spitfire, so 0-2 to these teams doesn't mean anything.
All right, it's time to hype up the crowd one more time before the break. If you think that we will see shields up and the Gladiators finishing strong, make some noise. Who sees this one going to a game 5 here in the venue? The Valiant got to win back-to-back maps. We'll see if they can make it happen on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. The battle for LA continues in just a few moments.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
never surrender.
Soon is one of the best tracers I feel like in this league.
It's going to be Big Goose using the Valkyrie here.
When we talk about the Valiant, it's about their aggressive engages.
It's been a tremendous defense here from the Los Angeles Gladiators.
And that was a good call from the LA Valiant.
It's like playing chicken with the enemy, and that time Gladiators are going to have the dinner for free.
Good start for LA. Welcome back to the Blizzard Esports Arena here in Burbank, California. The action has heated up, man. LA Gladiators up 2-0 over the LA Valiant, and that's the result so far in this match I don't think a lot of people are expecting.
I would not have predicted this, though.
No.
In fact, I did not predict the Gladiators to win, but now we are in the situation where the Valiant are going to have to reverse sweep to come back, so they must win the next 2 maps, force our final map on Lijiang Tower, and then win that as well. So a tall order, to be sure.
Absolutely, but I think they can do it. I mean, this is a team that's proved time and time again that they are one of the strongest teams in the league, and I would not be surprised at all to see this go to a map 5. Silk Thread in for Agilities on the Valiant side, and a sub over on the Gladiator side as well. Asher back in, subbing in for Surefour this time.
And when we do see Asher, it usually means the Tracer, probably some Widowmaker if we do head to Ruins, however. Hydration, very versatile player, but likely we're going to see some Pharah, especially if we are on Lighthouse.
I would imagine. We are going to Ilios for our next map here, our control map, and an opportunity for Gladiators to win the match right here if they take it. Yeah, we're going to still play 4 maps, but they will have won the series. Valiant needs to win this to keep their hopes alive, to maybe get the reverse sweep, maybe force it to that 5th map on Lijiang Tower. Gladiators, you know, they showed us they can reverse sweep already, so can the Valiant do it?
Yeah, I think the Valiant are going to have a hard time, though. They need to clean up their comms. A lot of their issues have stemmed from mistiming of the support ultimates, or just dying with support ultimates still up. They've been targeted very efficiently by the Gladiators. I don't know.
they look nervous. It's not something we're used to seeing, but for a team that normally has a lot of tight play, to suddenly have the issues that they're having today, one does wonder. We're not on the comms, we don't know, but it is interesting to see how things have fallen apart a little bit for them in the first couple maps.
Yeah, we are getting an early look here at what are likely to be the team compositions that these teams are going to be using.
Yep.
Soon we'll be on the Widowmaker as we see the swaps out for the Valiant. Asher will be matching the Widowmaker on the other side. Hydration, usually we see Agilities playing the Roadhog. Or, I mean, we don't see anybody actually playing the Roadhog on the side of the Gladiators, so going to be making a change.
I like it. All right, there's a last-minute swap to Mercy for Big Goose Asher on that Widowmaker. We'll see what he can get done against Soon, who is a deadly opponent in his own right on the Widow.
You want to run these triple tanks, though, you have to get on the point and force the opponent to fight into you. They're taking a lot of damage up front, though, and they can't get on the point. It's Valiant in control of it right now.
Where Soon, jetting across there. Avoided the shot for Asher for the moment here. Gotta be careful, though. Point is unlocked. Roadhog back in for just a second. Hydration needing to be careful here. Asher going up high, looking for the kills. Not finding the shot, though. NB D-Mech, and now Asher under pressure. Silk Thread on top of him with that Tracer. Backs off for the moment. Ooh. And Asher isn't quite finding these shots. I don't know about this Widow so far.
They're going to bring Hydration back up, but this is an awkward composition for the Gladiators.
It is.
They are not on the point. Trying to force themselves back on is extremely difficult.
And the Valiant just kind of roll right through this one. Soon with a very, very quick Widow ult in. They're going to take this point and put themselves in good position to hold it for a while.
Yeah, they are. Hydration is going to stick for the Roadhog right now. Does have 99% towards the whole hog, but again, the recap is what's going to be tricky.
Yep.
So many routes for the Tracer to use to flank behind on this point, and the slow-moving comp to actually get any kind of foothold further forward. Asher going to be using Infrasight late here.
Yep. And it back out. Ooh, Shaz falls early. The dive from Valiant is real. And now the whole hog from Hydration, but not getting a whole lot done with it. The percent still building for Valiant. Soon fighting for his life. Karib helps him take down Remix, and now they're back to the point. They're trying to stop Gladiators from taking it. The tanks are there, though, and there's a Transcendence. Diva pops that self-destruct. Big Goose down early, though. Karib finds the headshot somehow, some way. Now Envy in a little bit of trouble on the point, but not as much trouble as Hydration is in, and the Valiant will hold strong.
This Roadhog has not done anything so far. It hasn't been effective against what the Valiant are showing, and they need to make some changes. Silk Thread onto the Tracer right now. We'll see what he can do on this particular hero.
Yeah, Soon goes ahead and uses his Widowmaker ultimate. They've got a good view on where the Gladiators are right now.
They're really, Gladiators just very stubborn about this composition.
Oh, there's a single dive, actually. Remix goes in by himself. Asher does fall, though. Valiant gets that kill right off the bat. Hydration getting very, very low. A little bit of damage blocking from Bijou. They're going to need more hydration. Pops a whole hog. Remix is low, though. They need to get some serious healing on these tanks right now, but they're all bottled up in that room, finally escaping. But there's the
Silk
stick.
Thread.
Big Goose.
Nice
Take it
bomb
out.
there.
A good pick by Silk Thread to give the Valiant a big advantage in this fight. Unko does die to Bijou, though, but Soon there with the cleanup on the Widowmaker. We're into OT already. This could be a very quick point for Valiant, and it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be. Ruins goes to Valiant.
We've seen Soon dominate on this map before, and there was no way to stop him on the Widowmaker. They tried to send a tank line back there, but when the Winston dove in, he was able to kill that Winston with the help of the Zenyatta. So not sure exactly what the plan was there for the Gladiators. They couldn't apply pressure to Soon's Widowmaker.
Yeah. So as we move towards point 2 here on Ilios, which will be well, I think we need to see the Gladiators go back to the basics, go back to what they've proven they can be good at.
Well, that's going to be Hydration on the far. I alluded to this earlier, but right now Hydration has had quietly an extremely good performance on Pharah in this league. He's played a lot of Pharah, #2 in final blows per 10 minutes and #1 in barrage kills per 10 minutes. So there, he's by far the most efficient player by using that Pharah ultimate, and we're going to see it here.
Interesting. Kareev on the Lucio now, too. They're going to go for some big boops, I guess, into the well. We'll see if he can find any. Pharah v Pharah, though, in the meantime. And both teams using that Lucio this time around.
We are going to have mirror compositions coming out. Silk Thread trying to control the zones right now as the Gladiators jumping forward. They are driving the Valiant back slowly off the point.
That's right. Valiant going back now to try to prevent them from taking it. Gladiators so close, and they will get the control percent building early. Gladiators with the edge so far.
Envy gonna reset into the well after getting DMAC. They know they just have to minimize the amount of time that their Diva is going to be down, so Soon is going to creep around though on the side. He's already setting up for this other attack. You can see he was crouch walking over to try and get a flank onto that back line.
Coming in from behind now, getting some shots in on the hydration. Meanwhile, Kareev on that Lucio, still building towards that sound barrier. Remix falling early. Nice self-destruct kill onto Unko here. And Kareev just finds himself without the ability to do a whole lot to help his team right now on that Lucio. Kind of starting to question that pick a little bit.
And the Asher cleanup on the end of that point. Exactly what you need from your Tracer player. Getting some more stagger kills in.
Yeah.
And Gladiators looking dominant now, but they're back on some comfort heroes after an interesting attack on Ruins, but it's been all Gladiators here so far on Well.
That's right. Valiant doesn't want to lose this round, obviously, but it's not the end of the world. They'd still have Lighthouse. But you don't want to put yourself in that position. Good defense, though, from Gladiators so far. Hydration with that barrage. Getting ready to use that. Oh, maybe not. Oh, reload! Oh, man, that was an easy shot, but the reload came in at the wrong time. Kareev gets the sound barrier off just before going down. Silk Thread not making that barrage work this time.
Will get revived, though, by Unko, so coming back in. Hydration patient with his barrage now.
One more shot. Oh, we can't quite hit it, though. But yeah, again, the patience with that barrage could come up big. Going back again, just zoning so well with this Pharah, and they push the Valiant back again.
Shaz,
oh, another nice shot.
Shaz is battle mercying right now as he chases the members of the Valiant away. Haven't used his Valkyrie a little bit later. Hydration's been sitting on this barrage the whole time, and now the Valiant are going to have to walk into that barrage with no ults of their own.
Well, this is big, man. He's held it for the entire match. Now's the time to make it count. Looking for the angle right now. Maybe he can get behind Valiant. They've already taken quite a bit of damage here. Kareem a little bit low. Where's the boo-boo? Remix goes down. Good start for Valiant here. We're into overtime. This is where Valiant seems to thrive and be demeched, though. A good opportunity. Fate falls as well. Yeah.
Quite finished the kill onto the Tracer, so he's looking for some support on the opposite side. Wants to punish the Resurrect, but he can't do it. Fate comes back up.
Yeah, that's right. Hydration, meanwhile, still lurking around the back. Waiting for it. Valiant not able to gain any control percent just yet, but Bijou was demeched and delifed. Is this the moment? Hydration still holding that barrage, but he's been good about using it. They're gonna back away. All right, they may just give this one over. Yeah, they will to the Valiant. And look at how many ults Valiant has. Normally you would say, hey, LA's in a pretty good spot. They've got 99%, but Valiant's got a real chance with some efficiency, don't they?
Yes, they do, and they came into this fight with 0 ults, so it lasted so long that they nearly get all 6 available. Same can be said on the side of the Gladiators, however.
A crazy fight. Gladiators building up the last of their ults as well.
Yeah, this is the time for the Gladiators to play it slow, though. Go ahead. Try and get as many ults out as you can. You have the time to work with here. Force them to use the support ultimates if you can.
Oh, Pulse Bomb not getting a lot. Soon coming back again. Silk Thread gets the kill into Hydration with the barrage, but falls himself to Big Goose. Meanwhile, there's 2 Diva ultimates going off. Who gets caught? Meanwhile, both Primal Rages. All the teams dropping everything they've got, but when the dust clears, Valiant holds the point.
And they hold the point, Doa, but Unco used the Valkyrie, so Gladiators still plenty of time, and they're going to come back with a Valk of their own. So holding on to their ults, that was the key to win this fight. They want to just take the point, doesn't matter how many percent the enemy team has.
True enough, man. Sound Barrier is theirs as well. Bijou diving in Hydration. Now he drops a barrage, takes out Kareev. Gets brought back up by his own Mercy yet again. Bijou with that Sound Barrier diving deep. Going onto the Mercy on the other side. Shaz goes Battle Mercy onto Unco. There's a kill. And Gladiators storming back in this one. It's OT. And have they swung it around? It looks like they have. And we are tied up here on Ilios.
I have to say, though, I'm very impressed with the Gladiators coming into tonight. Not only are they making good decisions about how to switch their compositions up on the fly, not only have they researched the Valiant and made counter strategies for some of these points based on what the Valiants have played previously and again played tonight on some of these maps, but look at the communication right there. Holding on to those support ultimates, playing the long game so you know you win, using the big advantage that they got, the 99-0, to calmly play it out. The communication in-game from the Gladiators is on point this evening.
Absolutely. So we will move to Lighthouse, and LA Gladiators 1 round away from winning this series. If they can do it here, they will win no matter what the result of the 4th map is. Valiant need to win this round to stay alive. It is do or die for the green and gold right now.
The goose was Lucio. I see what you did there. Good job.
Cute. That's cute.
Did not miss a single player with a Sound Barrier, so providing the maximum protection. Big Goose.
I don't want to drink this juice. That's gross.
A great Lucio.
All right. Well, onto the point goes Bijou, but Valiant with the numbers advantage. Early on here, Bijou trying to stay alive, trying to be a bit crafty, but he'll get demeched, and they'll take him down quickly. Valiant will claim the point first.
They will, starting to post up further forward on the map to control the choke points as they come back in. One thing we've seen tonight is a lot more of Shaz, who, of course, we think of for his great Zenyatta kills and dominating some of the Valiant's matches in Overwatch League, but he's on Mercy duty, and that's opening up Big Goose to play his specialty on these more brawly points.
Yep.
We have on control.
That's right. Silk Thread from on high. They've lost Kareev right off the bat here. Brought back up again by Unco, of course. Silk Thread waiting for that chance to use a barrage one more time. Just 30% already. Looks like they'll hold on to it. They've got the leeway to do so.
Yeah, just about resetting there for the Gladiators. You're not going to win that fight. Unco used the Valkyrie to get the res on the pick that Bijou accomplished right off the bat. You don't even have a Valkyrie yet, so it'll be hard to grind through that from one player down. However, you wait till Shaz now has that ultimate available, and this is an attack that you can make work if you're the Gladiators.
That's right. Here's a dive. Oh, Remix gets a little bit ahead of his team. He goes down early. And now Soon chasing down Big Goose here. Remix back up again, but how long can he live? Valiant all over him. There's a dive. Soon nearly knocked off. Now just reduced to 0 HP. He's gone. And it's Farah v Farah as Valiant may lose the point here. Gladiators on the verge of flipping it, but they lost Big Goose. Do they have enough? I don't know. Barrage used by Hydration, but not a lot of kills. No kills coming out of it, in fact. And Valiant still keeping that control percent building for now. They have delayed this for so long, but in the end, the Gladiators will flip it.
Yeah, finally grinding it out there. Did take quite a few ultimates to make that happen. Big Goose will be coming up with his sound barrier to try and defend, but that's all that the Gladiators are going to have, and they need to survive for quite a while. So they need to look for some solid picks right now. Valiant in a similar situation to what we saw the Gladiators in, with a big lead and a tangible support ult advantage. They just have to play slowly and they can take it.
Kareem down early. Good start for the Gladiators. They go in. There's another big sound barrier. Got a good amount of members on this team. Got everybody again, I believe. And Valiant backs away. They've got the 2 support ultimates. They don't need to take it right here.
Well, going back to the clip that Sideshow showed us last time, this is a difference. Kareem goes down with his ult, but they don't have to pop the Valkyrie immediately to resurrect him. Instead, they draw out the sound barrier, and now they can just wait for him to revive, join the team, and attack again.
He's playing it smart. Asher in the back line trying to find those support picks. They do get the Transcendence out of Kareem. Remix down and up again. Pulse Bomb comes out. Nothing out of that one. Valiant backs off to the point. That's where they're going to make their stand. A lot of ultimates to use here as they come in, and they may not even need many of those ults as the kills are real. Hydration, though, drops his barrage. Oh, and there's a fadeaway kill onto Silk Thread as he backs off. They're still building that point. Gladiators barely holding on for the moment, but now it gets flipped. Valiant getting so close to keeping themselves alive in this series. They're at 90%.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the Gladiators to even get back to this point with everybody. Shaz resurrecting now.
Well, Shaz was down a little bit out of sync with the rest of his team. They're going to be without that Mercy for a lot of this brawl here. Overtime, they got to go in. They can't wait. Ticking away, though. They need to make this happen right here, right now. Remix with that Primal Rage. Bijou has the self-destruct. Used it right away. There's a kill onto Soon. Silk Thread dodging the Diva ultimate. Hydration with a couple kills here. They haven't flipped it yet. Oh, and there goes Silk Thread. Shaz falls as well. Fate coming up big with this Primal Rage. He gets 3, and he is the hero of Ilios, as that may be enough, but Bijou comes back with another one. No, they've got it. They flipped it. Oh, man, it looked like Fate could hold.
Bijou timed that self-destruct beautifully. Didn't get a kill, but he waits for the Winston bubble to die in the point, and that forces Valiant to go off the entire point itself and play back into the Gladiators, who had taken over that territory. So Gladiators fighting right now. They have a chance to win this series if they can take Lighthouse.
I think we're going to 99-99 either way, Monte Cristo. Valiant trying to storm back in here and take this point away.
Shaz very close to the Valkyrie, though. Watch that ability. Can the Valiant kill Shaz quickly?
OT one more time. Remix dies very quickly. Bijou D-Mech. This is big for Valiant. They're coming in, and Gladiators in a lot of trouble here. That point is getting flipped. Big Goose can do nothing. OT ticking away, and Valiant. Oh, Remix back on the point, but he's on his own. No, he's not. Bijou is there too, actually. The tanks trying to stand strong, shields up in the most literal sense. Here comes Hydration, big barrage, but nothing comes out of that. Envy is there, OT ticking, and the Valiant will stay alive in this series.
Wow, great comeback from the Valiant at the end of that match.
It's about as close as it can get. 99-99 on the last point on Ilios, but we still have ourselves a series.
We do, and it's going to be Junkertown up next. Valiant have that opportunity to push us into a 5th map of Lijiang Tower. Gladiators still with a chance to hold here and take the series 3-1.
And that's a heartbreaker for Gladiators to come so close. They're not out of it yet, of course, but man, they would have liked to end it right there. Nice stick on the Bijou there. Soon making a big difference in this one. Valiant staying alive. We'll be back with Junkertown right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel and Omen by HP.
Hey guys, this is Zoe and we are about to head onto map number 4 of this series. Valiant just managed to win the last map. I'm super excited to head into the next one. However, I want to give you or share a nugget of wisdom I just managed to grab from the Valiant coach, as a lot of people who have been watching this series have probably been wondering why we did see Unco on Mercy and Karif on Zen. Now, I talked to their coach, Cuddles, during halftime, and he told me that this hero swap was basically a decision based on their practices this week. They've been experimenting a lot, and during those experiments, they kind of noticed that both those players have a very specific way of positioning themselves. And based on those positionings, they decided if they just swap their roles, Hero, Mercy, and Zen, it would actually work out for them, and it did during their scrims. Unfortunately, we didn't really see that transition here on the stage. However, they did win the last map, and we're about to head into the next one. Are you guys ready? Yeah! Oh, well, so am I, so let's hand it over to our casters.
Thank you, Zoe. I think we are absolutely ready to go into our 4th map here. Here we are, between LA Gladiators and LA Valiant. The battle for Los Angeles certainly delivering so far.
Yeah, it's been exciting, and I like what we saw from the Valiant in that last map, actually battling back and taking it.
Yeah.
And it will be Junkertown, a map that Valiant has done well on historically, if we think about having that crazy like 8-7 game against the Dallas Fuel a couple weeks ago. And now we're going to see if they can bring it back right now. Some substitutions coming through.
Agility's in for Silk Thread, so they're gonna swap one more time here as we go into possibly the final map in this series. If Gladiators take it, that's it. If Valiant win it, we are going to that tiebreaker on Lijiang Tower. I wouldn't mind seeing another map between these two teams, would you?
I would not, especially because the Gladiators ran triple DPS and won the last time they played Lijiang, so it was an exciting time.
I mean, that's a cool thing about the Gladiators. That comes from the preseason, right? Bishu was sick during the preseason, and so without their tank, they ended up practicing a lot of triple DPS that they brought into the preseason and did very well with. And we didn't see it that much until it came up big in that last Lijiang Tower they found themselves in, and it'd be cool to see it come back again.
I definitely would, although you will be expecting that if you're the Valiant, so...
I would imagine.
I'm not sure how much practicing on Lijiang these teams do. I've heard, talking to people, that many teams do try and play one round of Lijiang at the end of a scrim block to sort of simulate this sort of condition where you might have to go into that 5th map tiebreaker.
If you're gonna do it, that's a good time to do it too. You want to do it when your players are a little bit fatigued, a little bit, mentally exhausted, because that's the situation you're gonna find yourself in an actual match environment like this. So let's see what happens. Watch your step. Nobody watches their step. There's no fall damage in Overwatch. You don't need to watch your step. That's the last thing you need to watch. You should watch your head, because there's rockets, there's snipers. That's the part you should be worried about. What's above you, not under you.
Yeah, speaking of snipers, Valiant, Karif, for those of you who don't know, used to be a DPS player with a Widowmaker specialty when he played in Korea. And so he can always flex onto that as a possible 3rd DPS threat for the Valiant. And Agilities is going to be brought into Junkertown in particular, because we do see so much Roadhog and Junkrat on this map. Better to have him in than Silk Thread, who doesn't have the ideal hero pool for either attack or defense here. Meanwhile, Gladiators going to be going with the double sniper.
That's right, here we go. Gladiators on the attack here on Junkertown, trying to end this series right here, right now with a 3-1 victory. We'll see if they can do it. They've got a long way to go.
Yes, they do. Gonna try and get onto this card. Shaz making his way forward. Agilities is going to be on the flank right now, trying to get some grenades in behind the Orisa shield. Halt not be pulling anybody forward from behind that barrier.
The modified pirate ship with the Orisa shield with the Bastion. And I would say adding a character with a hook doesn't make it any less pirate-like. Envy going down. That's right, I think the Roadhog complements the pirate theme. It's a good start, and they've killed Envy in a place where it's difficult for Unco to res him, so Gladiators are ready. Oh, but soon strikes back.
And now they have to move Big Goose out of position. Big Goose needs to heal these tanks, but hydration will also fall in the pursuit of Soon. Soon holding his ground and holding the angles.
And that means that the Gladiators going back to spawn to reset things a bit.
Ooh, Remix staggered.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a wait while they kind of buy time for their Orisa to come back to life. Valiant with a couple ults to sit on here. And their support's very close to some ults as well.
Valiant are going to spread themselves out in the line with Soon at one end, and on the far left side will be Agilities. So covering all the choke points that could be used to create a flank right now. Agility's going to start things off with a Riptire.
Here we go, coming in. Riptire trying to find a mark. And yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and take out Hydration. That's another big pick. They might be able to res him, but that's the res
but
gone.
the punish just not going to come through.
Man, Big Goose capitalizing on the damage coming in from Soon. They were so ready for that. And we've seen teams get better and better at this, drawing the Mercy out into the open for easy picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, speaking of an easy pick, there's a shot onto Soon here. Rez comes in, of course, but Shah's down, and Valiant will still hold. This is a lot of time being eaten up off the clock for Gladiators right now.
6 people still up for the Valiant, so it's been very effective so far. Shah's only got about 15% of his ult charge, so he's still waiting on that tank mode to try and clear out the members of the Valiant who have had a great defense here.
Yeah, you don't see Bastions take this long to build their ult too often. Fate falls really early. Here's the opportunity. Now the tank mode comes in. Oh, but they got to move forward with this. They got to try to get something out of it. Valiant getting the kills, though. They brought back up again, and Shaz doesn't get anything from the Bastion ult. He needs to come through big time. No, it's not going to happen. Kills for Gladiators, but is it enough to push the payload? I don't know, man. That supercharger lasted a while. Did it last long enough? Not enough to save Soon anyway, but the kills still coming in for Valiant anyway.
Yeah, Hydration and Big Goose have to get off the map for the reset now. Desperation supercharger dropped by Fate. Is he going to change it up? Because if not, he's going to wish he had that Orisa ultimate.
Yeah, maybe. Desperation Supercharger was also the name of my metal band in college.
That's a great name for a metal band, actually.
I can't believe that came back up again now. What a coincidence.
Remix, actually, is going to stay on the Orisa, interestingly enough.
Shots. No, not finding it quite yet. Riptire looking for some picks.
Wants Asher on the side. We'll get Asher.
Yep, hard to hit that one.
Valiant is not going to be in a position to try and cover off the flank, but it looks like Soon has scared the supports enough that they're not going to get the resurrection. So
20
Asher
seconds.
will just be respawning back in base, and somehow Gladiators have to get on this payload.
Oh, this would be massive if Valiant can get a point A hold here. That is almost unheard of on this map. Yeah, gotta protect Agilities. Here it is, the fight that the Valiant need to win if they want to hold this one. Asher falls early, big pick for Soon right off the bat. No,
he gets Big Goose too.
Big Goose, Soon coming up big. The Valiant hopes alive in the biggest way here. Hydration with the pick now, but Valiant storming forward. They've got the Transcendence. Can they capitalize on this with this extra support ultimate? No kills out of it just yet. Oh, but Hydration comes back for kill into Agilities. Kareem finds Asher, loading up another one. Trying to find those shots. Fate goes down, and Gladiators somehow, some way may have pulled this one out in overtime, but it is still going to be so tough to finish this attack run, even with taking point A.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Doa. That stall on A is absolutely huge. Soon trying to just buy a little bit more time. As he does, we'll go ahead and rewind. He's waiting for his teammates to come back in. We have seen some swaps over. Agilities on the Genji.
Are they going for it? They are. They've lost so many people, though. You just can't push this. All right, there we go. So now the Gladiators will finally claim point A. They should. Soon delaying for quite a while, but in the end, you don't eat up any extra time with a long OT delay like that. So now the Valiant, do you think they've kind of given up the chance to set up defensively on point B?
I mean, we'll see how exactly they're going to adapt here soon. Back on the Widowmaker, Agility's on the Junkrat, so it's going to be tough, though, as the high ground has already been taken by the Gladiators.
Well, that's the thing. When you die as the defenders right at the end of point A, the offense has a chance to set up like this.
But you only have 2 minutes also, so you don't have to play very aggressively on the defense. You can go ahead and wait for the payload to come all the way around the U-bend on this map.
Yeah, Remix gets res after getting picked off. Uncle falls, so a good start for Gladiators. And that whole hog not doing a lot for Valiant, but here comes Hydration on the other side. The Gladiators whole hog walking forward here, pushing back the Valiant, and Fate taken out. Another pick comes in, Envy hooked, Envy taken down by Bishu. Gladiators storming through point B.
Well, this time Hydration's hooks are making the difference because they're picking people off one by one, which is creating huge staggers. Unko dies with the Valkyrie, which means he's not going to get there in time thanks to the staggers that occurred after his own demise.
And now you got about 240 if you're Gladiators to push through point C. That's not a lot of time to do so. It's a tough point to finish, but they've gotten this far. They've really picked up the pace since that close point A, and soon gone already. Shaz with the pick there. Valiant short-handed, they lose both of their DPS. That's going to be Envy taken out too, so this payload doesn't look like it's going to stop moving anytime soon.
Oh, and it didn't stop moving hardly at all through point B.
No.
Unko!
Oh, Unko! Why would you use your valve there?
Oh, that...
Okay.
That's not a good sign. Dashing in to attempt the resurrection onto Fates, but
that was...
both players cut down instantaneously, and the payload just keeps rolling for what was almost a full hold. We've turned into an unstoppable attack from the Gladiators.
That is pure frustration coming through on the side of Valiant, man, to use that ult in that situation.
It's so dangerous too because they're coming up on two support ults from the Gladiators, and they are inching towards the end of this map.
That's right, it's rough, man. Envy demeched again already. Valiant falling apart. Bishu gets two with the self-destruct, and Shaz there for the cleanup. Valiant in tatters at the end of this run.
As Shaz still has the Transcendence Stoa for the ultimate from Agilities. Is he gonna come through and try and use that Dragon Blade? He's not gonna find any targets.
Well, Fate on his own here on the point. Transcendence comes in to keep him up. Support ultimates are big. Shaz uses his as well. Hydration, it's Dragon Blade time. Takes down Kareem. Unko falls to Bishu. Gladiators, they've got everything they need to complete Junkertown. It's so close. Fate kills Big Goose, but they might have enough to grind it out. That could come back big, though. The respawns are there for Valiant, but are they there enough? They may be.
Yeah, Big Goose is still he's trying to get back into the fight now. 45 seconds remaining. After all those ultimates used, Valiant at least have the strength of the closer respawns to hold it, but it is very nearly there.
Now, there's still one push left for the LA Gladiators. They can get there and give it a try. Both Tracers have pulse bombs. Whoever gets the bigger one, it could very well carry their team through to a win on this round.
Trying to push forward right now. Choke points have been covered by the members of the Valiant. Asher
Unko
wants that pick onto Unko, can't get it, force rewind.
Yep, that's right. Asher has to back away. Now the Gladiators going in earnest. There's a pulse bomb, he sticks Envy. Remix taken out though by Soon on the other side. Envy demexed, and they're gonna need a little bit more hydration. Trying to just stay on the point right now. The Valkyries come out. Can they get him? Asher down. Valiant seems to be holding so far. Oh, but then Bishu comes in with a double kill on the self-destruct, and now Hydration with the Dragon Blade. Can they finish
here with the trance?
Envy down, there goes Soon, and Bishu with the Hero Diva ult may have just done it. Oh, Kareem can't stop them, and that is it. Gladiators will take the first round. They will get 3 points. I can't believe they finished that.
Poise under pressure from the Gladiators on point A. Poise under pressure from the Gladiators on point C. Looked like it was going to be over for them thanks to Unko's Valkyrie, but they battled back, and Bishu, as you say, with the crucial self-destruct to finish things out, gave Shaz enough time to build up his Transcendence and have that final push in conjunction with Hydration's Dragon Blade. And they get the kills necessary to end the map.
Man, it seems like every one of the rounds on every one of the maps in this series is just so close between these two teams, and now a big task ahead of Valiant to complete the map here. I mean, yeah, this is one that you can see completed pretty quickly here, but after a round like that, yeah, I know we saw that one between Valiant and Dallas. That was crazy. It was an 8-7 Junkertown.
Yeah, they completed it more than 2.5 times, in fact.
But I think there was less mental fatigue at that point in that match than we're seeing these teams deal with right now.
Yeah, and the Valiant are going to have to push all the way through.
Yeah.
We've seen them with these incredible overtime pushes, and it seems like often that's when the Valiant is at their best.
That's right. That's a pretty good drawing of those two.
Yeah, they get admitted all the time, though.
Yeah. I would know
It's
that
not very,
if I saw them. Though.
not very efficient security. That door opens all the time for them. All the time.
Constantly admitted.
In fact, sometimes they start in there.
That's an old sign, man. That was just outdated and they forgot to take it down. Everybody loves those two in Junkertown now.
I will say they do often get shot on sight, though, so.
That's true. Yeah, as does nearly everyone in Overwatch, really. It's pretty common.
You don't really need that sign when you're shooting everyone on sight in Junkertown.
That is true. Junkertown's a dangerous place, seems like. Here we go. Valiant on the attack. Let's see how fast they can push it. Kariv on the Widowmaker. Something he is quite familiar with during his time in Korea. Great Widowmaker play.
And something we've seen before from this Valiant roster, swapping soon off onto the Bastion.
Yep.
And this is going to be interesting defense, dive defense here from the Gladiators with the Genji and the Tracer. We don't often see that. You have to really have good coordination to get on top of the cart.
Bishu D-Mac, nice shot onto hydration there too. Valiant crushing Gladiators in this first engagement.
The problem is Bishu tries to get onto the top of the payload to stop this from moving, but he immediately gets hooked by Envy.
Very bold.
Everybody has to pile on at the same time. And I don't think this dive defense is going to be effective.
It's a very well executed push by Valiant. I mean, Kariv, we saw him on top of that building, constantly checking his flanks. There was just no way that Asher could get close to him.
They're going to try and find some people. Kariv is way in the back right now. Asher is going to get behind him.
That's right, Bishu D-Mech yet again. That did not take long. And more kills coming in for Valiant here. Can they get the Mercy? Nice hook. Oh, holds him in place just long enough. And yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for point A. And Valiant takes a blazingly fast point A.
Yeah, they do, Doa. And Asher did kill Kariv, but there's just no pressure to actually hold the payload from moving forward.
Yeah.
Gladiators continuing with the dive. It will be better on this point where there's more verticality to use with the Genji and more flank routes. It's very awkward defense.
That's the plan, Envy. Backing away here. Nice pulse bomb onto Soon to take him down. And the shot comes in from Kariv. Shaz taken out. Envy, though. And the payload stalled for the moment. Valiant has to back away.
Yeah, no opportunity for the Bastion to post onto the high ground. Soon is going to want to use that tank mode and then try and make a switch if that is not effective, or a switch before we end up seeing the attack onto point C if that phase comes. But
Kariv over on the Zenyatta now, so they made that support change.
You really have to.
Yeah, nearly 5 ultimates too. They've got those 5 ults. Dragon Blade incoming. Gotta watch out for that one. Ooh, Riptire, where'd it go? There it is. Bishu, D-Mech by it. Fate taken down. Brought back up again. Of course, and now Envy trying to find the kill. There's one onto Bishu here, and Valiant winning this fight fairly handily here. They use a lot of ults to do it. But Asher may be striking back. They've got the Transcendence on the Gladiator side, though. Gladiators pushing back again.
Everybody committing all their ultimates to this fight except for Bishu, maintaining control of that self-destruct. Shaz gets grabbed, reeled in, and destroyed.
Yep, and that is hydration not lasting long on the payload. Another nice right click from Envy here, and that payload's moving. So Valiant still moving quickly through their attack run.
Yes, they are. And nobody really with ultimates. Bishu hangs on to his self-destruct. Soon we'll be covering the doorway. We are not likely to see a defense as the payload comes through on the B. So all eggs in the point C basket now for the Gladiators on this defense. 4.5 minutes for the Valiants, who have proceeded at a rapid clip through Junkertown.
That's right. Valiant, if they can finish this with any time left on the time bank, it's pretty big. See if they can do it. Self-destruct coming in for Bishu, soon taken down by the pulse bomb. Agilities. Oh, 3! Are you kidding me? 3 kills with that Riptire. And Envy's gonna follow it up, so that payload's gonna move.
It is Doa. Everybody resetting for the Gladiators. Valiant continue their push forward. A big investment made to dive the back line, and the counter dive Riptire from Agilities tears them apart after they already commit to the engagement.
Yeah, everybody comes in, uses their movement abilities, and then nobody can get away from the Riptire. That's a problem. Here they come, though. Dragon Blade out for hydration, looking for some kills in the back line. It's going to be Fate that falls, and soon goes ahead and uses the tank mode. Not too many kills with that, though. Not any, in fact. Has to go back to his turret form, and there's the Transcendence coming in now. Valiant committing to try to push this forward. Unko used his Valkyrie as well. And again, Gladiators beaten back as Valiant getting closer and closer to finishing.
And Envy's hooks really have been the MVP of this game. He's the one who's been able to power them forward so efficiently and get people within the range and sight lines of Soon.
Remix did not last at all. Soon was right there, of course, with that Bastion again. And Gladiators streaming in one by one. Now the Mercy Res comes in. Oh, the hook misses that time, though, for Envy. Could be a problem for Valiant, though. But Soon back again with the Bastion ultimate. Can he get any kills, though? Trying to pick people off in the air.
Forces the self-destruct.
Oh, boy.
Be used. Bishu, a late hold on the self-destruct, and that wipes the floor of the LA Valiant. Swaps coming through, as you can see. Soon onto the Tracer. Fate on the Winston. You're not going to be able to close that gap again with the Orisa and the Bastion. So it's time for a change, and there's still 2 minutes for them to work with.
Well, Bishu giving his team a chance to breathe with that Diva ultimate. Valiant, they've got time to come back for a few more pushes, though, so all is not lost by a long shot. Riptire coming in again for agilities. Not getting any kills this time. Nice shot by Hydration to take that one down.
Good fall back there. Poking. Each team looking for that opening, but Shaz is going to pick off Soon. Hydration wants to go in, but gets forced back before he can find that correct opening for his Dragon Blade.
Remix nearly falls, but gets out just in time. The table's turning a little bit here as Valiant comes back in now.
It's going to be a window here where Valiant are going to have 2 support ults, and Big Goose is still working on his. It's a matter of taking advantage of it.
Yeah, Shaz uses that Transcendence now, doesn't save Asher anyway. Agility's still with that kill. Hydration. They've got Valiant bottled up in that room just a little bit. Dragon Blade, has he found people vulnerable? Yes, he has. Agilities is one of those people.
They need to get on the payload, though. Big Goose trying to come through. He needs to get that Valk. He gets it now.
That payload nearly there.
But he dies.
Hydration, 3 HP. Yeah, Big Goose is down. This big for Valiant. And they finish. 1:53 left on the clock. So a big advantage for Valiant going into time bank.
Wow, Big Goose. Late on the Valkyrie, not his fault, just trying to charge it up towards the end of that fight.
What can you do?
Gets it, but dies to the Riptire immediately after. So Valiant exploiting that timing to push it all the way to the end. And that means we are going to be heading into this time bank.
That's right. And man, this one is going down to the wire. It's going to be Gladiators on the attack here first, as they've got a little bit less time to work with. 1 minute to 1:53 on the Valiant side.
Shaz on the Bastion. And this is it's one of those strategies where it's so snowbally that you kind of want to go for it because clear through point A and maybe point B easily as long as you win that first decisive team fight.
You know, you go back and you think about how the first defensive round went for the Valiant, and they did such a good job of holding point A that now that Gladiators are coming into it with a minimal amount of time on their side, you got to be a little bit worried if you're the purple team.
Yeah, but they are going to mix it up, actually.
Yeah. Well, Bishu channeling his inner Poco here in this match and getting quite a few self-destruct kills, as you can see.
Well, they've been it's the timing on those two. They've been at exactly the times you want to have those self-destruct kills.
Wow. Sneaky shots from Soon. Shooting through that tiny little gap in the wall there. Oop. Oh, there we go.
Be careful, though. Fate actually dropping down to nearly nothing to start off. Shaz going to be going into this sentry mode.
Yep.
Right now, and
Widow v Widow now, I think. Yeah, we'll see it on the side here, maybe. Agilities.
Asher.
Oh, Asher. Did he just walk up the side? What happened?
Asher just died.
Wow, somehow.
No, there was no pressure. There was no pressure on the side.
I think he just walked up the side. You get pretty close to the edge there, and that's devastating for Gladiators. Oh, Soon gets hooked, but saved. Delivered by Envy's return hook, and now strikes back with a kill onto Bishu.
Oh, that is...
Oh, the Gladiators in big trouble now. 10 seconds left for them.
That is such a disaster at this time. Walking off the side of the map, and Jazz is just getting chased around and staggered. Asher's gonna have to hit so many headshots to make this work. Agility's with the Riptire. He wants some supports.
Oh, and Bijou gets it with the rockets. That could have been bad, but it's still a 5v6 as we're into overtime. Valiant trying to play it safe. And Envy coming around the side. He needs a big hook here. Maybe he can get one. Oh, how did he get that hook? Oh, but no kill, and he falls off. Oh no, Bijou booped Envy off the map.
And this might be the play they need. Big Goose coming with his Valkyrie right now. Self-destruct on the payload. Are the Gladiators going to be able to recover? He will get resurrected.
Yeah, they will try anyway. Soon desperately trying to seek out those shots here. Hydration has fallen. Gladiators losing people. And they're still in a lot of trouble right now. Supercharger in for the Valiant. Soon getting close to the edge here. Bijou D-Mac and another Riptire coming in. That's a kill on the Big Goose, and that's going to be enough. Valiant will hold, not a very great push for the Gladiators.
That's such a devastating mistake to make, though.
Yeah.
If you're Asher, he was trying to take the Widowmaker duel, and I'm watching the top-down map, and he just simply falls off the edge of the map there.
Oh, that one hurts.
Nobody was even around him, so it wasn't a boop, wasn't anything, just straight up walked off the side without his grappling hook up. That may cost Gladiators this map. They do have an opportunity, but it's going to be hard to hold it right at that choke point.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for the Gladiators to come out with a win on this map. And, you know, if Valiant are able to take this one, which they've got all the opportunity in the world to do that, we would be going to that tiebreaker on Lijiang Tower.
Be exciting though. Bijou,
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, Bijou's out and he's not playing the Diva, so a rarity. We'll be trying to work with the Roadhog instead. They know they've got to get picks and stagger as much as possible because of how much time is left here for the Valiant.
Yep, that's right. They do come out with twice as much time as the Gladiators had, 53 seconds more to be precise, but that's still less than 2 minutes. So it's honestly not the longest hold in the world, but if you lose one fight here as the Gladiators, you may have lost the match.
Yeah, and
well, the map anyway, at least.
They're gonna play far back. You know, sometimes
oh boy.
Sometimes I prefer if there's this time to sort of run Lucio quad tank and try and jump them right as they head out of the building. And just snowball that way.
It can go so well or so poorly.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
I would have taken that risk in this situation, but that's going to be instead
a risky guy.
They're going to be playing conservatively here. The payload inching closer. 5 meters. They have to fight. They have to fight.
And I don't think Remix wanted to get to the payload that way. Came in on a Roadhog hook. That's a problem. Kareem taken down. Bijou falls as well. Big fight for Valiant already. And they may just have it right here. Yeah, goodbye, Big Goose. And that is it. We are going to map number 5. Valiant takes Junkertown.
And this is the time. Valiant working on that reverse sweep, Doa. We've only seen one, and it was the Gladiators against the Philadelphia Fusion. Lijiang Tower will be the tiebreaker. And we'll see if the Gladiators come back with that triple DPS look.
I mean, here's the crazy part, right? Because Valiant won the earlier control map, so they are coming into this with that attitude. Hey, we already won one. We can do it again here. But what an epic series this has turned out to be, guys. Don't go anywhere. The tiebreaker right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP and by Intel.
Yeah, just a mic.
Welcome back to the Battle of Los Angeles, guys. We are tied up 2-2, Gladiators versus Valiant, and it all comes down to this. A best-of-3 round on Lijiang Tower, and I can't call this one, man. This is going to be close either way.
Well, I'm just excited because of our substitutes, though. I really like the way we're going to see Gladiators. We are going to go back to some triple DPS looks, which is super, super exciting with Surefour coming in for Bijou. So 1 tank, 3 DPS, and 1 Los Angeles team coming out of this match with a victory.
That's right. It was gonna, you know, we knew it was gonna be a great match, but we didn't know it was going to be this close. I think the big story of this one, no matter how it ends, is just how much of a level the Gladiators have stepped up in this 4-map series.
Well, we saw Bijou. Yeah, we saw Bijou say it in the interview that they feel like the Valiant have been a team for a long time. The Gladiators are more newly formed, and so they're going to be learning and improving faster. And we saw this matchup in the preseason. It was basically a blowout in favor of the Valiant, but here we are in a very close match.
This could go either way. Gladiators getting 1 reverse sweep already this season. Is it Valiant's turn now? Is it the Gladiators' turn to feel that devastation? Either way, I don't want to get too dramatic, but man, what a great series we are seeing here at the end of our first day of the week on the Overwatch League.
We are, and I really like what we saw previously from the Gladiators. Looks like they are going to be running the same strategy they ran on Garden last time, which is Surefour on the Widow, Asher on the Tracer, and Hydration on the Pharah. So basically, Asher can follow up either Surefour or Hydration's shots. If Surefour misses that headshot, Hydration deals some damage. Asher is going to be the one cleaning this up with the help of Remix. So a lot of opportunities now. Asher needs to follow the lead of the other 2 DPS. On the side of the Valiants, they will be playing the tried and true Genji, Tracer, Winston, Diva dive composition.
That's the plan. Here we go. LA Valiant versus LA Gladiators. Who claims the city? We are going to find out right now on Lijiang Tower. Surefour looking for that Pharah.
Not going to find it.
There's no Pharah to find, no.
He's going to punish people as they come in. Yep. It's going to be his own Winston diving back out immediately, trying not to fall. Asher harassing from the flanks. Asher falls to a dash from Agilities.
Yeah, that's right. Asher versus the Dasher not going too well for the Tracer, and Valiant coming out swinging here. It looks like they will be able to claim the point first.
They will, so first control percent will begin to build now for the Valiants. Gladiators back to spawn.
Well, this is huge for the Valiant too, because when you're running that Pharah, it's tough to retake the point.
Yeah, it can be, especially with the Widowmaker as well. You're very dependent on those sight lines and a lot of walls and bridges in between for the Valiant to defend.
Right. Uh-oh, a little bit of damage for Remix. Needs to worry about it. He's going to go down. Good start for Valiant already, eliminating that Winston in the place. Where,
it's a problem. Yeah, it's hard, right? You don't have the Resurrect in the Gladiators, and also the Valiant. They're reading this correctly. Who do you take down? Okay, well, in order to open up sightlines for the Widowmaker, Remix has to make space for his team. There isn't, you're really relying on what? The orb healing from Zenyatta, maybe Big Goose if he can get close enough. There's not enough healing there for a single tank.
No.
Like, you're gonna run into a lot of issues. And so by focusing Fate immediately, focusing Remix immediately rather, they are making the right call.
Yeah, there's not a lot of burst healing on the side of Gladiators, and they're feeling it already here. Valiant defending against the push now coming in from the Gladiators.
I like Surefour switching over to the Roadhog now.
Yeah, that's right. Going to do them a little bit more good, you'd imagine, than the Widowmaker will. Agilities, deflects, gets out of there. Waiting for his chance here. Fade a little bit low. There goes Remix. Both teams without their Winstons here, except for Fate, who's brought back up again, of course, by Unco. Now the barrage comes in. Kareem going down, but Valiant still coming out ahead in this one. Goodbye, Shaz. You're going to go down to sleep with the hollow fishes.
Is that where you go in the future?
That's right.
The Mafia sends you to sleep with the hollow fishes?
Well, those aren't real fish down there. They're holographic fish. Surefour picked off at the end. The cleanup is complete. And Valiant up to 90% already here on Guardian. Gardens.
Guardians?
I don't know.
Garden.
Epic words.
They tried to speed boost with the extra tank into the point, try and compensate for the lower amount of healing from the Zenyatta Lucio.
That's right. Transcendence now. And Agilities still has that Dragon Blade to use. Oh, soon goes down. Could be big. Agilities needs a big ult here. Remix gets a kill on the Kareem. There's one under Sure for Agilities looking for more. Finds Shaz. Back to the point. Needs to get there. Can't do it. Gladiators will flip it despite the fight from Agilities.
Yeah, Agilities lives, but everybody else except for his tank line dies. So Dragon Blade, not quite enough there. Soon and Fate still trying to back cap the point. They realize there are only a couple members of the Gladiators there. Sure makes the move over to the Soldier 76. Now that they have control over the bridges, and try and put some of that poke damage down.
That's right. Gladiators holding strong for the moment. They have a long road to go if they want to take Garden here. Big dive comes in, and Fate very low. Fate taken down. Both Winston's dead again. Sure gone as well. Big Goose fighting it out on the bridge, trying to hold strong. Agility's nearly booped off. He wasn't though. Oh, but Valiant flipped the point back. OT ticking, and now desperation from Gladiators. Asher low, and here comes the Transcendence. Good luck, Shaz. He's exiting again, but has he done enough? He got the kill on Kareem after that, actually. It was enough. They will flip it back.
As Sure sprints back from spawn to start to clean this up, Gladiators surprisingly able to reflip the point at 99 thanks to the late reinforcement of Sure and Shaz getting a critical kill, and they are back to the poke as the members of the Valiant try and break their way back to the point. It's very difficult to get through here with the Pharah and the Soldier 76.
Yeah, the big thing is going to be Unko's Valkyrie. That Mercy ult could be huge. Valiant already trying to flip it back. No, Fate goes down. You can't res him if he's off the building.
Well, that's a consequential concussive blast there to get rid of the Winston when his jump pack is down.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Four-time bots. And Shaz
Agilities.
Gets Agilities. So there you go again. Unko gonna try and use that Resurrect, presumably, to get on top of Agilities. Does use it. Hasn't used the Valkyrie
they
yet.
Gotta get in there. They gotta get in there.
They do have to get in there. Fate's still waiting. Fate chunks.
Oh, Fate dead! Another huge boot from Hydration, and in overtime, Valiant.
I think he just missed his jump though.
I don't know, man. I think, who knows? He's dead either way. Sure down. Agilities comes back with the Dragon Blade, though. Hydration, no kills with that barrage, and that could be big, as Valiant will go ahead and flip it back their way, it looks like. Oh boy, that Pharah barrage was not great, and that is going to give Valiant the first round. Does not get any closer than that, though.
It doesn't. Unko with the Battle Valkyrie kill at the end onto Big Goose, headshotting him with the Mercy pistol. Make sure that there's not going to be anybody on the point, and we are going to go for our second point into Control Center.
Man, this match has been just insane. What a roller coaster, especially at the end there for Valiant, losing Fate at the beginning of that last push, but still managing to take it back and taking the first point. And here on Control Center, it all comes down to this. A win on this round, Valiant would complete the reverse sweep. Gladiators take it, and we are going to that final round.
And this is Control Center. This is where we saw the Gladiators seal their victory against the Fusion. And they did it with the help of Sure on this Zarya.
And we're already into it. Tanks on both sides, it's shield wars here. That seems like it'd be good on the Gladiator side. Shields up, but Hydration not finding one there as he will fall early. Valiant storming ahead. Big Goose brings his Junkrat back to the fray again, but Sure kind of push out to the side of the fight here. Valiant slowly shoved back though. It's a reverse tug of war, but Valiant managed to take the point first.
Yes, they do. Sure moving up to nearly 100 charge on that fight, so we will have some of that Zarya energy left when they return. Unko, however, healing up his tanks now that Soon is on the Roadhog, giving them a very fast Valkyrie.
That's right.
Surefour 97, he's hugely ahead of the Graviton Surge race. This is what Gladiators need to capitalize on to retake this point.
Sneaky Riptire comes in from behind. No kills on that one. Remix, though, took enough damage that Valiant got him. Asher.
Asher is
cowboy.
There's nobody else in that room.
There's no one there, man.
Nobody there.
All right, well, you could put some pressure on, I guess, by trying to take the point. Maybe pull Valiant back, but for now, he's just going to try and join his team.
He has to try and backcap because otherwise Envy's going to get back up to that charge.
Yeah, you've got no choice.
He's going to walk all the way back around.
Craziness. Transcendence. Ooh, that's a Graviton Surge. Transcendence for the Valiant. Karif saving his team here. And they've still got Gladiators bottled up. Remember, if Valiant win this round, they win this series.
That was so much time lost because Valiant were able to just clog this choke point up. They forced the grab out, and that's only the Transcendence they had to use. Envy's still going to be looking for a chance to use this. Riptire is out for hydration.
Yeah, they're going to have to avoid that. Get so low. Ooh, where's the tire? Oh, it finds Fate! Do they have the res? Can Unko get to him in time? As now Gladiators come in. There's another Graviton Surge. Can they capitalize on it? It's tough with the Zenyatta ultimate going. Unko falls to the Fire Strike, and Gladiators might be able to retake this.
Unko fell to the Fire
maybe
Strike
not.
during his Valkyrie.
Soon!
But Big Goose goes huge. Gets a couple reses up.
Yeah, they need it bad, and they will use it. Gladiators are going to flip this point.
Oh man, so Gladiators somehow stabilizing through that attack. The kill onto Unko during his Valkyrie with the Fire Strike from Remix was, I think, the biggest factor that allowed Gladiators to get that purchase.
Oh no, Unko down again. Asher finds a big pick on that McCree.
He's playing out to the side. Sid and Unko were trying to come up and down the stairways, and he just gets found.
The Gladiators need every edge they can get with how much percent they need to catch up here with Valiant. Agilities goes in and use that Riptire, and Asher being very sneaky again on the side. Wants to land a big flashbang here if he can. Hydration now, his Riptire coming in. Gets two! Hydration and the Riptire. And the res comes in. Hydration back in action. We're back into OT as Valiant managed to flip the point
dead
back.
Again. Asher killed him.
That's right, but can they hold it? Asher, oh no! Goodbye!
Mind off the edge. Graviton's gonna come out. Counter Earthshatter blocked by Remix.
Oh, it's a big Graviton. And Gladiators will take the point back again.
Great heads-up play from Remix, blocking Fate's Shatter as he tried to CC them so they couldn't use their own Graviton. Remix gets the read on his Reinhardt opponent, and Gladiators still sticking in this series.
Yeah, clinging to life for now, but they've still got about 40% to go here if they want to take it to round 3. Remix, bigger Shatter, if he can land it. Maybe that works, gets pulled into the Graviton Surge. Valiant finds the kills they need. Soon, walking forward with that Roadhog, but now the reses come in for Big Goose. The fight continues, and Surefour all charged up on that Zarya. He's doing a ton of damage right now.
He needs to be the hero of this fight. He's gonna start by killing Fate.
He's trying. Valiant nearly has a point flip back again. Big Goose keeps everybody healed up though, and they will hold.
Valiant did not execute their ult combo properly. They wanted to use the Graviton with Envy into the whole hog from Soon, but Soon was too far away to get the damage down. And now Surefour, he's almost got another grab. He's at 82%. Agilities wants a target with the tire.
Whoa, can he do it? Oh, the Transcendence comes in. Shaz with the reaction time. Holds it. Meanwhile, the transfer Valiant as well. A little bit later, they're going to have that healing for a bit longer, but he gets pinned. Gets brought into enemy territory. Karif delivered to his opponent.
Grabs up for Surefour.
That's a problem for Valiant here. Fate drops the Earth Shatter, but nobody gets any kills out of it. Envy demech now. The Gladiators may still stay alive. Asher comes in. Oh, tries the flashbang over the shield, but he can't do it. Graviton, though, for the Gladiators.
Two down.
They will get the kills into OT. They're flipping the point back again. Oh, or are they? They need to get it soon, desperately. Trying to keep things alive here. No, it's Karif now on the Tracer, but he can't do it. There's a flip. There's OT. And Gladiators, they are still in this one.
We are going to distance, Noah. It has been exciting. We are going to see Night Market, the late hold from the Gladiators. A lot of that's due to that Surefour Zarya, the amount of charge and energy he had, the damage he was dealing, and the fact that he got that second grab.
Now shields up indeed, and it was some of the Zarya shields, some of the Reinhardt shields that made the difference for the Gladiators. And we are going to the very last possible round we can see in this battle for Los Angeles. I cannot think of a better way to kick off this rivalry in the Overwatch League regular season.
It's been great. And it looks like, though, we're going to see Surefour reprise his role on the Zarya. Hydration on the Junkrat. So wanting to play Night Market in a similar fashion to how they played their last point. Los Angeles switches back to the dive.
Now, Gladiators get to the point first, so they're going to be playing it from the defender's perspective if they can. They've got that little edge early on.
Well, they're going to be really happy with playing this from the defender's perspective as well.
Whoa,
Come back. Everybody wants to get on to Shaz, and they're going to find it.
Fast success. Big Goose falls as well. Remix swinging away, but he can't keep his team alive. He's on his own. And that shield, not so great. Valiant takes the point first. Control percent building, but we've seen this before.
That was a great call from the Valiant. They chunked Shaz from range. Not sure who got the damage onto him, but Fate and Agilities were all over it to clean up that kill. Immediately turn on to Big Goose. No more support.
Oh, Surefour finds a Helix Rocket kill on
That's
the Unco. Yeah, that is not someone they can afford to lose right now. Agility's trying to back away. He's only got that orb to keep him alive. Finds the health pack.
Yeah, I like the changes we already saw the Gladiators make. Decisive, over to the far, over to the Soldier 76, trying to get a range advantage on the dive.
All right, the flip happens. Somehow Gladiators get in and take it right from under Valiant's noses.
A bit sloppy. And the Valiant still have a big numbers advantage.
Oh, Dragon Blade time. Goodbye, Big Goose. Goodbye, Agility. Shaz comes up big and takes Genji down. And Valiant trying to retake things again here. Looks like they will, maybe.
Yeah, sure, they will.
There we go.
Eventually goes over, so
they got it.
Only 20% for the Gladiators. Big Goose coming up on his Valkyrie, matching that of Unco, but there's going to be 2 support ults with Shaz for the Transcendent. So Gladiators need to start putting some pressure on this point. They need to flip it back and make this competitive right now so they're not playing from an enormous deficit.
Hydration on the far now. Oh, Unco taken out again. He has died early. So many fights for Valiant. The Mercy now working out. Oh, Pulse Bomb for Soon working out though.
Doesn't matter. Valkyrie's up. Resurrect immediately onto Remix. So this is going to be the fight the Gladiators have to win. They don't want to use the ult on Shaz if they can help it.
Well, it was a good start, and maybe it'll be a good finish as Hydration is brought back up again by Big Goose's Valkyrie. They're going to need to get those kills there. Now Fate with the Primal Rage nearly gets a knockoff onto Surefour, but Surefour makes it to that lower level instead. Valiant still coming in with the kill. And Fate, he was down to 2 HP, and they kept him alive.
And that play was made possible by Agilities, who killed Shaz outside of the point, killed him right here where we see Fate right now.
Yeah.
So he was not with the rest of the players. He could not be resurrected and use that Transcendence. So Agilities in a 1 versus 2 against Shaz and Asher wins, takes out the Zenyatta.
99, they're trying to flip it back. We're into overtime here. Valiant on the verge of the reverse sweep, but the Gladiators trying to turn it around. Unco dies yet again early. There goes Fate, and there's no res this time. Agility's fighting for his team's life. Soon gets one with the Pulse Bomb. There goes Remix.
They're zoned out.
OT ticking away. They'll get back just in time, but Valiant may have it. They may have it.
Hydration on the Doomfist.
Hydration trying to stay alive, trying to keep his team alive. He's got the Mercy there, but that's not enough. Big Goose gets a kill on the Kareem. It's Battle Mercy time, but they need to get the rest of the teammates there. OT's gonna go so fast now. OT, oh, they keep it going. I can't believe it. Valiant, they still have the edge though, but Remix gets the DMEC onto Envy. You can't possibly tell me that Gladiators are gonna flip this back. It seems impossible.
Dead again, but that's it. It's gonna be Hydration, the last Gladiator on the point.
Valiant will win the battle for Los Angeles in a 3-2 reverse sweep victory.
Wow. Well, Valiant, clutch, coming out at the end of this, fighting bitterly on that point, but it's their dive composition that gets the best of the Gladiators.
Wow, my favorite series so far in Overwatch League, yet hands down. It does not get any better than that. And Valiant coming out with a win, but what an epic showing by the Gladiators. Dude, this was a series for the history book.
Yeah. About as, like you say, as close as you can make it. This one, Gladiators coming out strong with their prepared strategies and their teamwork.
Yeah.
It's just little mistakes that cost Gladiators this match as it went to the distance at Lijiang.
The Valiant coming up with a big win here. They'll move up to 3-2 in the overall standings. But Gladiators, you know, despite the loss, we talked about this earlier, definitely leveling up their own play as well. And I think going forward, if they can keep this momentum going, they will really be another force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they look far better this week than we've seen them previously.
Yep.
They suffered some very hard losses against top 3 teams, failing to take a map, but this time they come out firing and they nearly just knock Los Angeles into that 2 and 3 position.
You know, it was scary for the Valiant at the end there, man. Unco dying early in a lot of those late fights, but the team carrying things through in the end. You can hear the crowd chanting soon. It's not booing, they're saying soon.
sounds very similar, but
he certainly does deserve the accolades he's getting, man. And as you can probably tell, we have Zoe down on the floor with Soon for a post-game interview.
Thank you so much, guys. And I have Soon with me from the LA Valiant. You pulled off the reverse sweep. You are the winner of the Battle of Los Angeles. Now, of course, you were 2-0 down. You guys went into the dugout during halftime. What was the main discussion you had with your team?
The main discussion is why we do mistakes, like what happened, why we lost. So the coach team staff said the focusing is bad. We switching Kariv and Co roles, like Kariv playing Zen now. So it's completely new, so we try something and yeah, just about focus.
All right, about the focus. Now, Saperli-Popette, you guys came back on that third map. I love using that word, I'm really sorry. Now, one last thing, you're playing in front of the home crowd. Anything you have to say to your fans?
Thank you all, thank you for coming. And let's go Valiant!
Let's go Valiant! Soon, thank you so much. We're now gonna break down that last game on our desk.
Thank you so much, Zoe. It's all about the green and gold here at the end of the show. What a comeback from the LA Valiant. I'm Chris Puckett, the host, to break down all the action one more time. And once again, we've got Sideshow with Crumbs. Guys, let's jump into game 3 because we have so much to cover here in the post game. It all started with Ilios. As we look back at the action here, as we roll the general highlights, this is where the Valiant started to develop a little bit of steam. This is where they get themselves back in the game. And at the start, it was Soon, the man that just gave us the interview all over on the Widowmaker.
It wasn't even close in this 1v1 versus Asher because Asher ended up hitting 0 limbs and 0 actual final blows with 4 deaths while Soon was walking all over the place. They tried to run this quad stank for the Gladiators before Gladiators were, Valiant was prepared, and it just was a steamrolled map.
I think this gave them a bit of momentum coming into Ilios in general, and the reverse sweep, which they managed to pull off here. They had incredibly close second 2 stages, and it was difficult to fight against hydration, but on this point in particular, iRemix was punished so hard. It's not like Well, where you can just tap onto the point because it's so massive. You have to dive super deep to be able to get inside that house, and Envy punished him every single time. iRemix was dead a lot.
That Diva was all over the Winston every time he was in there, so we saw the first time in control. It goes to 3 rounds, 99-99. Valiant walk away with the victory. That sets up game 4, Junkertown. And let's roll the highlights once again here as we look at both the attack and defense from the Gladiators. Soon on defense, again causing problems with the Widowmaker to open things up.
He caused problems, but I think the biggest issue here was the composition from the Gladiators. This is just too spread out. You've got Diva, Orisa, and Roadhog, but only one support. Either go with double snipers or go full tank with the Bastion. So instead of all in on one strat, they try to go for both, and it backfires.
And you talked about the Gladiators making a big blunder. They went all in to stop on their point A. Unfortunately, Valiant was able to unlock point A and then kept the cart rolling. This was a huge play, though, by Bijou. The triple kept the Gladiators in it.
It really did, and Valiant had to clutch it in the final moments, but really when it came down to it, and both teams are completed, it comes down to, are you able to defend and attack point A better than the other team? And we'd seen that Valiant had a much better strategy for breaking point A. They were able to hold on for a long time. And I love these highlights as well, with Shaz and Asher unfortunately just trickling away to their deaths, because in some sense, this was the Gladiators in a super tense situation, and you could just see it crumbling, slipping away from them as Shash realizes the mistake he's made and falls to his death. And the same with Asher here as well. He takes a shot, so much pressure, and it slips away. And in some sense, this was kind of a metaphor for the larger thing, because although we've seen them pull off the reverse sweep before, this time it was Valiant with the mental fortitude to take them all the way through.
And you know that has to start eating at you as a player. If you're either Asher or Shaz, those small mistakes are going to be haunting you in the back of your mind. You're going into Game 5, though, and this is a fresh start. You're going to switch up the composition. You're going to bring back the triple DPS that you saw back in preseason. And in fact, you're subbing out one of your strengths in the series so far, Bishu, the Diva player. I was talking to Bishu, what's the game plan? He said, we're using the 6 strat. I was like, what? He said, yeah, when I'm sick, this is the strat we use. Well, right away, it was the Valiant jumping off to a massive lead in our first round. It got a little bit closer towards the end, but I felt like Valiant always felt like they were in the driver's seat.
Well, the unfortunate thing about the 6 strat is that it's not the first time it has come out. We have seen Surefour bust out the Widowmaker before, especially on Gardens here, and so Valiant gets to prepare against it. And not only that, Valiant actually lost Game 5 to London because they busted out the Widowmaker on that point, so they were very prepared to go with a full dive composition, deal with the Widowmaker, and never give them a chance. So Gladiators get to come back on the point, but it's already too late. 99% cap. You don't have any room for error.
Well, they looked like they were on the verge of reverse sweeping against London Spitfire. Today, the Valiant walk away with a massive victory, and here's what it sounded like to be in the booth at the end of that Game 5.
Monkey! Ilios, Ilios. Burn him. Ilios. No. Okay, damage. Monkey! No. Monkey now. Puis. Très école. Viens. Nice! Oh no! I can't see! Oh no!
Two things really stand out to me there, actually, when we were listening to the communication. One, following on from Soon's interview, the focus calls were slightly awry. We heard somebody shouting out, monkey, as in focus the Winston, and somebody else canceled the call. You know, no, wrong target, switch to this guy. So maybe this is something they still need to work on with Karib and Unko switching roles. The other thing was the relief on their faces when they won. These guys were pressured so hard by a team that, realistically, we thought was lower in the table than they were. And Valiant were so relieved to get the win today.
It was such an amazing way to start this rivalry. The battle for Los Angeles temporarily is going to be held by the LA Valiant. They are going to be your champions to close out the day. But we can't go without crowning our player of the match. And this was tough for us. So many great players, but Envy has to be our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. He did it all. He did it on the Diva. He did it on the Hog, constantly shutting down his opponents and really giving his team massive opportunities.
Yeah, it was a long series, but when it came down to the 3rd and 4th game where you had to have that composure, Envy stood out far above the rest. His Roadhog, especially on Junkertown, was so ridiculous that we just have to give it to him.
Yeah, I love the way that he punished iRemix on Winston on this map that you're saying, or rather the previous map, on Ilios on what's it called, the Lighthouse stage, but also when we went over to Lijiang Tower and they were running the triple DPS, and again, iRemix is the only tank, it was Envy coming out, punishing that, and making sure that he is controlling the composition coming out from Gladiators.
44,000 damage done as well as blocked. Pretty solid stuff by Envy throughout this series. 119 eliminations and the W to top it all off. Massive performance. That is our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. And what a match this was. Incredible finish to an epic day to open up week 3. As we take a look back at all of the action, you'll be a little bit surprised if you're just tuning in. The San Francisco Shock putting up a fight against the London Spitfire to open things up, but it was really the Shanghai Dragons who stole the show with their performance against the Seoul Dynasty. If you're going to go back and watch any VODs, though, so far from any of the weeks, I say this is the match to beat so far in the Overwatch League.
Oh, it's been a fantastic one, hasn't it? The crowd here as well made the whole experience. We were listening into the booth, but when they won, when LA Valiant won here in the crowd, it was just, they were going wild.
It hurt the eardrums. It was very loud.
As you can see, we have our top 3 still unbeaten. It's the Dynasty, Spitfire, and Excelsior, but the Valiant are right behind them at number 4. Gladiators officially falling to number 7, joining the Shock at 2 and 3. But we're not even halfway through stage 1. So many more games to come, and it all starts at 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. We got the Boston Uprising going up against the unbeaten London Spitfire before the Philadelphia Fusion faces off against the NYXL. And I know a lot of people have been on Twitter letting me know the match they're looking forward to. Is it Florida able to start something going up against a very tough Houston Outlaws squad? That is going to be going down at 6 p.m. Pacific. It's been a great day, and we want to thank everybody that was here in the Blizzard Arena, everyone that was in Twitch chatting on MLG.TV. Thank you for watching the Overwatch League. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Once again, it kicks off at 2 p.m.